Okay, we're recording. It's happening.
Hello.
Mario,
It's happening now.
I had a question for you. I thought you might know with your experience.
I have a possible answer for you.
So I was watching this show called The Pit.
Yeah, okay.
I was watching doctors react to it because apparently it's like one of the most like medically accurate shows ever. And
Yeah, I've seen some clips of it on TikTok.
it's good. It's actually really good. I actually highly recommend it. And there's a little twist that we'll get to later, because it actually does. There is a direct line from The Pit to the Goosebumps TV
Is
show.
one of the Catherines on Goosebumps? Isn't she? Is there one of the
Yes.
one of the doctors in this is in?
Correct.
I was like, why do I recognize this actress?
Oh, here's the thing though. You probably recognize her because she was in Star Trek.
She fucking was.
Yeah.
She was in Picard.
Yes. She was in
Oh,
Picard,
God.
and that's probably where you recognize her the most. But for me, I literally just watched The Pit. And I highly recommend it. It's actually really good.
I forgot that she played like a major role in the first season of Picard, which I didn't watch, but I saw Red Letter Media talk about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, her name Issa Briones. I think that's how you pronounce it.
For reference, Brandon, we are talking about Margot, the very much 26-year-old high school student.
Yeah. I had to look her
That
up.
the entire time we were watching, we were like, this woman is not 16. This is an adult woman.
Without being mean, she honestly looks older than 26. Even.
She does. What I would say is here's my. I don't think she looks necessarily
She looks mature,
you know how
not old. You know what I mean?
she looks mature. There are people like me who, when you were 26, you looked like you were 15. And there are people, like, it was always striking to me when I would meet people my age, and I would look at them and be like, wow, you look like an adult. You look like an adult human. I look like a child. Like, I don't
some people
perceive...
look precocious.
And she, to me, just looks like, if I saw her, I would think, wow, that's an adult woman. that's a person, as opposed to that's a child. That's a child.
If on IMDb it said that she was 30, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
I think she looks younger than 30.
She looks closer to 30 than she does to a high schooler. That's
for sure. That I'll agree with. I don't mean to say she looks old. She's a very she's an attractive woman. She looks great. It doesn't that it matters that I think that she looks great. Yeah. She's but she just looks not 16.
Yeah, she looks like she's in grad school.
She's also a great actor.
She looks like she's in grad school. I agree with that.
And also, her acting in The Pit was fantastic, and her acting in Goosebumps was, it was okay. She wasn't really given a lot to work with.
I'd say she does.
Yeah. She does perfectly fine. She's perfectly serviceable.
Like with everyone in Goosebumps, the TV show for Hulu Disney Plus, she is doing probably the best she can with the material she's given.
You get the sense that this thing was kind of slapdash thrown together.
But Bob, what was your question with The Pit? Sorry.
So my question is, because of the medical accuracy, I was confused. You know how when we normally count down for these podcast recordings, I'll go 3, 2, 1, record, or sometimes 1, 2, 3, record. Apparently, they do that in The Pit, and where in order to move someone from one place to another that may have like injuries or anything else, in order to move them in one quick motion, they go 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1, and move. And I was curious because I was watching a react from a doctor who said, I forget his name, but he said that they don't do that. That's one of the few things that the Pit it gets wrong. It's actually inaccurate because they're training people now to do ready, steady, go.
Oh, they could be. I don't know. I mean,
because the reasoning for that is that sometimes when people count down, they get confused as 3, 2, 1,
3, 2, 1,
and then you go, or 3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, that's a very, I'll put it this way. I would think that's a very sensible decision to make, and I wouldn't be shocked if it was becoming a standard of care or of training, because as you said, yeah, that is a fairly reasonable, common point of confusion. And if you're being smart in medicine, you're removing failure points, right? You're looking for failure points, and that is one of them. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of surprising that it's taken that long for them to get around to it. But then again, no, it's not.
They have bigger fish to fry. But also, I can imagine that would that could lead to someone getting dropped.
Yeah, I mean, if you are, it would be smart. And I mean, if you are looking at failure points in medicine, which you are often doing retroactively, like you're looking for where are the Swiss cheese model of failure, where it's like where are the many points at which things can go wrong, like where are the holes in this care. And that is, I would say, probably a pretty common one that and also a very easy fix. Relatively speaking, there is a concrete way to fix that problem. So I would say that makes a lot of sense to me. Now, granted, I have been out of patient care for so long that I don't know, I don't know what we're doing anymore. When we move dead bodies, we don't even count down. We just do it. We just do it. There is not even a count. It's just okay, we're just doing it now. Personally speaking, can't say yes or no, but I would believe that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just thought that maybe you would have some input on that. So
I have, the last time I seriously moved a living person was honestly, Brandon, when we were in high school, probably when we football players post collision. I mean, that, as far as I can remember, I have had limited chance to really move a living person. Even in med school, I didn't really do it. More than it just didn't come up. I didn't have to work in the ED, and or I did for one night. Otherwise, it didn't really happen. And a lot of time, in the hospital setting, usually there are staff and orderlies who are moving people like that. Usually,
I had the firemen carry somebody in Boy Scouts.
Usually med students and doctors are not the ones doing that. Whereas in the ED, it's all hands on deck in that kind of situation. So they might be.
What are their hands doing on the deck?
They're cleaning it.
Oh.
They're giving a spit shine. Whereas, I move bodies now relatively frequently. But again, we're not really worried about. Obviously we're worried about dropping them, but the distance for moving a body is literally from one gurney to the other. So and also we're not carrying them; we're flipping them over probably. So it's more okay, grab this and roll towards you. Although I have seen someone drop a dead body in recent memory in the past 2 weeks.
Did it fart when it hit the ground?
No, it was really stupid. It was really stupid. It was a thing that you could only imagine. It was a moment of real humanity, but also real human stupidity, where there was something was on top of the scale. There is a gurney there's a ladder on top of the scale, because they were doing some work in the back, and they usually put the body on the scale on the gurney to weigh it when it comes in, and the security guard literally said okay, don't use the scale. There's a ladder on it. So you shouldn't use that. Give it a minute, and I'll come back and we'll handle it. We'll move stuff around, right? And it's on security footage. This guy hears this, looks at the ladder, which occupies 90% of the scale, and decides to put the gurney on the scale anyway. Which, why would you do that? And so the gurney can't fit on it. So it goes up at a 40-degree angle, and of course the body rolls immediately right off the gurney, and he's just standing there I can't. How'd that happen?
Why did someone do this to me?
Who could have done this? Who did this? It was so stupid. It's speaking of stupid, Goosebumps 2023.
Scene 1, Harold prologue. It is 1993. Harold Biddle, a teen dressed in flannel and blue jeans, walks into his house in the Pacific Northwest.
Brandon, I think we have to do an intro before you can say that. I think we have to say what this podcast is. Also, I have to quibble with you a little bit, because the Goosebump, the wiki starts with Harold Biddle leaves Port Lawrence High School and goes home. So you skipped that.
Fuck.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a very relaxed and special episode of You Can't Scare Me. As always, I'm joined by Mario.
Hi, it's me. It's Mario. I'm the cool ghoul. Who's everybody's pal?
It's a little, yeah, okay. It's a little
chill.
Yeah.
That's a cool ghoul. Who's everybody's pal?
And Brandon, how you doing?
Jesus died today.
On 420, bro.
He died for us like Luigi.
Wait, is it actually?
Oh, anyway.
It's Easter. It's 420.
It is 420. What? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny? Jury nullification. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gathered here today. Well, no, I'm not going to say that again.
We're gathered here today
saying that, and it sounds so weirdly religious. It's like
We're gathered
Well,
here
it is
today
that
to
gathered
celebrate.
at the church of Robert Lawrence Stein. We watched a show on Disney Plus because only season 2 of it is available on Hulu for some weird reason. I don't know why.
That's why you were confused. I watched a show that was certainly released on Disney Plus on my computer. I mean,
the computation machine.
I watched it, and it was at one time on Disney Plus. Period. This is the period.
In a way, we live in a post-scarcity world, which is to say that there's so much TV that it's impossible to watch all of it. But also, we live in a post-being able to access it easily world where you have to do fucking research to find where you can actually watch the stupid thing anymore.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
So yeah, we watched. Technology is infuriating. We watched.
True.
It's on purpose.
We watched. Let me calculate. We watched about 20 minutes of ads,
Oof.
and also
I am sorry.
the first 2 episodes of the Goosebumps TV show.
I could not have made it better.
Well, I think I was saving this for the podcast, so I'm gonna come right out with it. I actually really enjoyed this show. I think it's good.
I didn't.
I know.
I didn't
you
like
guys
it.
were talking so much mess in the Discord, and I was like, should I say something now or should I wait for the podcast?
Hey, man, be honest.
I actually legitimately enjoyed this, and I not only did I enjoy it, I watched more than the first 2 episodes. I got kind of hooked on it, and I watched up until like the last 2 episodes.
Oh wow.
So I haven't finished it all the way, but I did go past our allotment. So I know I have a little bit more context for more of the show. I have an idea for where things go, and yeah, it's perfectly fine. I was kind of I guess we can get right into it if we want, but
sure.
You sound upset.
No, I'm fine. It was a sure. Yeah,
I'm glad when people like stuff.
Hey, listen. At least I'd rather all of us not be negative about it.
Yeah, no, but yeah, right out the gate, like I really like a lot of the actors in it. I don't know. Justin Long was kind of like, I don't know, but Issa Brion, I think that's her name.
As Marcus does.
Yeah, Zach Morris. I mean, all of the kids really did a good job. And yeah, you can have some like criticisms about like, a 24-year-old trying to play a high school student. But for what it is, I think it's totally fine.
Okay, I don't think that any of the cast gives a bad performance. I think the cast is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I have no issue. And yes, while it struck me that Issa Brion doesn't look like she's in high school, that's certainly fine. I have experienced that in my entire life. Like that's media. That's normal.
Yeah.
Although it is somewhat striking in that several of the cast members do look like they could be in high school. Although I'm sure they are equivalently older. I don't know that for sure. This is a guess, but
some people just look more mature.
Some people just look more mature than others. Some people just can blend in amongst high schoolers, and some can't. And it's fine. That's not a problem. It's not a judgment on the show. It's like, it just is what it is.
It's also the way the production people like do her makeup and stuff.
That's also
like she looks extremely put together. She looks like a grad student. But that's, again, it's not really a problem.
Again, I think everyone in the cast does perfectly fine with the material they are given. I think the material they're given is not super good.
Yeah,
but
my problem with the story is writing. It's not the actors are perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with the performances.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I was going initially, where I was basically going to start into The story, I think my major criticism right off the bat was that I didn't think initially that this properly paid homage to Goosebumps, because
I don't think it needs to be Goosebumps. I don't think this show needs to be Goosebumps at all, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been okay with them like just kind of like lightly taking things from Goosebumps and making them into a story, but I mean
that's basically what they do.
Yeah. The bigger problem is more like I don't think that they spend enough time on their threads because they're trying to like book it. Like I don't think that the first 2 episodes, for example, and I can tell by the general synopsis of the show, right, that like there are episodes that they somewhat drop this facade of adapting stories directly, but like I don't think the first few episodes need to be even in pretend adaptations of stories. Yeah, they should have just set the people up before they started getting into it, really, because like we book it through the evil camera, and we really book it through the haunted mask.
Woof.
You know what I mean?
Woof.
Like I both times I was looking at the runtime and I'm like the camera still has not appeared, and that's understandable for the first episode you got set up to do, but in the second episode it's really perfunctory, and it's because they're trying to like get through it. Where it seems like they're gonna do like one haunted object per episode. Bob, you would know, we don't, but I think that they need to do a little bit more than that.
We should probably talk about the premise of the show, and just kind of do like an overall like sort of like synopsis. Mario, did you say that you had a
well, I have the wiki open. Also Brandon took notes, I think, so we can give the synopsis on the fucking wiki is
it is 1993.
Yeah. No, the synopsis on the wiki is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
counts.
19,
it
20, 21.
You how to count.
There's like 40 paragraphs of synopsis for the first episode of the show. It probably at least 5 pages worth of synopsis. The wiki gives you what was happening when every licensed music track is playing. For example, When Unholy by Sam Smith and Kim Petras is playing. Isaiah and James order food, but learn it's cash only. Nora gives them saltines. They eat the saltines. So if you want a full play-by-play, the wiki is here for you.
What a waste. I wrote out my own notes as well.
Does it say... I'm trying to find the page that you're on.
You want to link to it?
That would be perfect. Because there is something that happens it is one of the wildest... I'm seeing a lot of people say, this is for the individual Say Cheese and Die episode. Okay.
Yes.
The reason I say this is because this is a mild spoiler.
Yeah.
But for later in the show, there's something. It's incredible that they're saying what's happening during songs that play, because there is something amazing that happens in the third to last episode of the show.
Right. You're not talking about the part where they play Terrible Lie.
No, that was incredible. I have so one of the top reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for this show is incredible. Here, let me read it exactly because I have the link open. It is an excellently soundtracked supernatural mystery. And the soundtrack is, before we even talk about what the show is, the soundtrack is wild. Like, not only do they end the first episode with Goosebumps? Which is just, I get those Goosebumps every time.
Every time.
I need that Heimlich.
Yeah.
It swings from appropriate to probably the quintessential example of it being wildly inappropriate is during an emotional denouement where a certain event happens that I will not spoil, but it's really impactful. It's like the entire thing that the whole show is leading up to, like sort of an emotional catharsis. And then as it's happening, the lyrics, "I got hard in the back of your car" start playing. And it's not like you can't hear them. It's not like that those lyrics happen underneath someone talking.
That's before the catharsis.
It's like... I forget. Oh yeah, it was like 3 futures. Yeah. Three Futures by Torres. Yeah, the lyrics start, "I got hard in your car in the parking lot of the Masonic Lodge." Those lyrics happen.
Wow, powerful lyrics. Wow, powerful lyrics.
Those lyrics happen in a wildly inappropriate moment. So I'm excited for us to get there. But that's getting ahead of things a little bit. Music,
hell of a story with words they're telling there, though.
It's true.
Yeah.
The music choice is wild, but yeah, getting a little bit ahead of ourselves there. So yeah, really, this story is about it's about a bunch of high school kids, right?
Yes, that's true, and some adults.
Yes,
and also.
Wait, let me set the stage.
Yeah, let Brandon set the stage for us. Set the stage.
Yeah. I'm gonna use this. Damn,
you did the work. Set the stage.
do the work. Yeah, you did the work.
And I ain't reading all this fucking synopsis. So
Here's the stage setting.
Okay.
I wasn't Googling fast enough, and I'm using Firefox, so I was gonna Google the synopsis to the Kung Fu Panda movie and start that off. But just insert that in your head here. The synopsis for Kung Fu Panda.
Brandon makes a funny joke where he reads something other than his notes. Got it.
Everybody laughs. Everybody applauds. Okay. All right. Episode 1, Harold Prologue. It is 1993. Harold Biddle, a teen dressed in flannel and blue jeans, walks into his house in the Pacific Northwest and interacts with several Goosebumps-themed objects. The doorbell rings, but no one is there when he answers. Unseen forces push objects around the room and cut the power. He lights a candle. The cuckoo clock cuckoos. He backs into the basement, falls onto a blanket, which catches fire by the candle, and he burns to death. Outside, the house explodes into a fireball, which forms into a spooky face. This is Goosebumps.
Skipping over it a bit, but yes, it must be noted the Goosebumps directly referenced items and objects in here.
Yeah,
You've got a haunted mask,
right?
You got the cuckoo clock of doom,
He
and the
feeds something
camera,
a
the
worm.
say cheese and die camera.
And
he eats some worms. Or
yes,
there are some worms.
It's not immediately apparent, but there are worms, and they do come into play later. Yeah.
Also playing during that scene is REM's Drive as he comes home. So you know it's not the 90s. And his basement, and I don't know if they address this, Bob, in a later episode, that his basement is apparently coated entirely in gasoline.
Yeah,
because that candle hits that carpet, and it lights instantly. It lights so fucking fast.
I will say
soaked in gas.
There is no mention of gasoline, but I will say that there may be a reason that that weird shit happens in that house, because there is a thing. There's also I should mention there is a haunted object that is a direct reference to a Goosebumps book that is in that house that we do not see, that you can maybe infer if you look at the episode list.
Well, not only the episode list, but also the literal promo image of the show, which shows Slappy the dummy is on it.
There is a Slappy. He be slapping.
He is literally, his face is center of the image promoting the show. So Slappy the dummy is in this somewhere.
Yeah, I forgot about this terrible promo art. It's just wild.
So don't you worry, kids, if you thought maybe he wouldn't be.
No, this is Goosebumps after all. For some reason, we're not able to get away from Slappy. I don't know why. Like, come on, give me a curly. Like, what the fuck?
They're slap happy.
I'll take Monster Blood as the mascot for.
Well, guess what? Monster Blood's in season 2, man.
Hooray! We kind of, maybe, sort of get Monster Blood a little bit at the end of episode 2. But not really.
The explosions? The goop?
The goop. But it's not.
See, here's the thing. I haven't read Cuckoo Clock of Doom, so I don't know if that is a thing from it, or rather, if I have read it, it's been years. Obviously,
if I remember correctly, no. And that's the other thing that should be noted. These episodes are like the first episode, Say Cheese and Die. We at a certain point start to deal with a camera that takes pictures of people that are like in the process of dying or in like really terrible fright. Things get much looser. Like, I think that the episodes that are closest to the books are probably the Haunted Mask, or like a modern version of Haunted Mask and Say Cheese and Die. Cuckoo Clock of Doom has nothing to, like, it's a completely different like sci-fi premise.
Okay.
For the Cuckoo Clock of Doom, because if I remember correctly, the Cuckoo Clock of Doom is more about rewinding back
time
in time.
Yeah, and not being turned into a goop man.
Yes. So the thing that's happening there is basically the cuckoo clock.
I started watching it, or I skimmed through it out of curiosity as to what. So I know that they are doubles created by time looping.
Yeah. So the time loop doubles, those are, and whenever they get hit in the head, much like zombies, they explode into. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing. Really cool that they put trouble fluid in the show. That's actually really cool. Like I was shocked. Brandon, were you shocked?
I'm always shocked, especially when I stick a fork in an electrical outlet.
Let's before we get too far ahead, let's wrap up or continue with the narrative. Of
Sorry, I'm just imagining Brandon as that one patient in House who, like, as soon as House comes in, he has like a knife and immediately sticks it into an electrical socket and dies. Like
we should all be so lucky.
Getting out of this podcast.
We should all be so lucky.
I'm a Marv in Home Alone 2.
You're Marv. You're skeletonized.
Exploding into Curly, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Goosebumps Curly. Not in this show.
I love that the skeleton opens his mouth and screams in that movie. It's etched into my brain. Marv the skeleton. It's so good. Anyway.
Tell us what happens next. Take us away.
2023 Nora Bakery. We cut to 2023 at Nora Parker's Bakery. Two teens order breakfast. These are Isaiah and James. Isaiah is a sports guy, football star kind of guy, and James is gay, and they are best friends. Nora says the card machine doesn't work. She offers them saltines for free since they have no cash, and the teens do not know what saltines are. Do teens not know what saltines are? As they leave, another teen, Lucas, jumps out of the second-story window of the shop on a skateboard and eats it hard.
I hate this character, for the record.
The others ask if he is okay. He spits out a mouthful of blood and says, he is chillin'. Nora runs out and says, not this again. Stop jumping out the window on your skateboard. End scene. There's a pep rally.
So after this scene, we cut to the pep rally where Isaiah does a thing that no teenager has ever done and gives a rallying speech about sports. But I was going to say, I'm glad Isaiah is not a bad person, because we've already done the football star is like an asshole story a million times. We've done it a million times. We've seen it. We've been there.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's sort of a problem for me that, or rather, there's something off about the way these kids are written, in a way that feels like we're trying to write them with like as little friction as possible. Like I just cannot fathom this character Isaiah hanging out with this character James. I can't fathom it. I literally, and I mean that's me. That's me. I was a teen in the 2000s, right? I lived a different life. You know what I mean? I lived a different life. But I just can't fathom these two people hanging out. Like, I'm just watching them like, nope, don't see it at all. Like, just nope. These people are just so completely different, and like in all their interests, and like, nah.
I'm not saying that quarterback can't be friends with
the mascot for the team. It can happen.
Yeah,
it just probably doesn't. Like
the QBs. I mean, we were sports med trainers, so we worked like with these people all the time, and the QBs were not friends with us. They were more like the kinds of guys that might like that they watched sports and they liked sports and they cared about sports, and they wouldn't know what any of this stuff is that we like, and we didn't hate each other, but we also didn't interact. We had different worlds. I mean, like I don't mind that much. This is very like prestige TV show. Our named characters are going to be palling around all the time, but it's just sort of taken for granted that they're all best friends, or that these two are best friends, and there's like they don't do stuff together except for participate in plot events, but you know, whatever, minor sins. This feels like, you know, it's like YA fiction. That's fine.
It's fine.
And it's also funny that you mentioned that, because in Cuckoo Clock of Doom, what was his name?
James expresses that he has no interest in sports.
yeah. He doesn't know anything about sports, and it's like your best friend is a sport.
It's just such a weird
he is capital
choice.
S sport.
Like I could see him being friends with Isaiah's girlfriend, Allison. That I would buy completely. I would buy that 100%.
But it comes out later that they are the opposite of that, and you know, when they spoilers eventually break up because of something that his girlfriend does, which is really shitty. James like breathes a sigh of relief and was like, she was terrible. She was awful. So
Yeah.
Interesting.
Pep rally.
Pep rally.
Probably
Probably the worst thing about the show.
certainly bad. Certainly not good.
It's not like it's overtly terrible, but it's like a machine gun of just like, oh, what kind of writing are we dealing with here? And I really feel like it doesn't do a service to the rest of the show. But yeah, please continue.
Yeah, we cut to the teen school, Port Lawrence High, where a pep rally is occurring. The coach introduces football teen Isaiah, then sits down next to his daughter Margot. She is also a student, and she is looking very much not like a student, like a teenager here. She has brought a book to the rally because she has no school spirit, and because she is in her mid-20s. She is not actually that much older than everyone here. We've talked about it already. Isaiah gives an incredibly long pep rally speech. An unnamed girl is recording the speech on a gimbal. James, in the Titans' mascot costume, humps the air and is chastised for this. He is humping them to victory, he replies. A random teen sits next to Margot, tries to strike up a conversation by saying that football players suck, huh? Apologizes that this was insensitive when she doesn't respond. He quickly adds, no one sucks. Everyone's got their stuff. Margot says, no one sucks? What about Jeffrey Dahmer and Andrew Johnson?
God, football players suck, huh? That was like insensitive. Sorry, no one actually sucks. Everyone's got their stuff.
No one sucks. You stand by that? So like Jeffrey Dahmer, like he's a cool dude.
No, he's not.
Or like Andrew Johnson, he's a chiller.
Fuck.
What a weird choice, Andrew Johnson. What a weird choice.
Yeah, there's like, yeah, I guess
Other,
she's supposed to be smart.
to put with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, same kind of guy.
Same sort of general vibe.
Yeah. Isaiah calls over his girlfriend, who is not named. They hug. Isaiah thanks the person recording the speech as Susie, but her name is
in high school.
Isabella.
That's detention.
Yeah.
You go to detention.
Wait, did they actually kiss in the scene? I thought they just.
I believe they smooched.
They kissed later. I thought so too. I had to rewatch it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they just hug. Maybe they just get real close to one another.
Mario on the lookout for people swapping spit.
I'm just checking for smooches. I'm maybe
you
I
don't
got
have to wait
Mario
that long.
eagle-eyed watching Goosebumps 2023
who's kissing in this scene?
You better not be kissing.
No, better save some room for Jesus on this show.
Jesus and R.L. Stein. Hello.
And R.L. Stein.
Hello.
Bob, you can spoil this for me because, well, we'll get to this in just a sec.
Okay.
Any reflections on the pep rally scene?
Bad scene.
I forgive this scene a little bit because it kind of introduces us to Isaiah and like who he is, like his general vibe.
We are the Titans, long ass speech, but
yeah, that's the problem. It's just too fucking long.
It goes on too long.
Yeah.
No teen has ever done this. So pep rally happens, and we cut to party planning, right? Because a troll has
Yeah, we're in the school hallway.
Yeah.
Wait, Mario.
Yeah.
Do you mean a literal troll?
Well, Bob, maybe we'll get there.
Someday.
Fascinating.
The literal troll has sabotaged Allison's Halloween party, which was stupid anyway. But anyway, yeah. Sorry, Grant, take it away. Take it away.
After the rally, James and Isaiah are talking. James sees a boy he likes named Sam.
Yeah.
James is gay. Reminder. This is how we know he is gay, and everyone is okay with it. James says sup. Sam says sup. Isaiah says sup. Sam walks away bemused, and James upbraids Isaiah for butting in. We are about 5 sups away from having something substantial I can tell my therapist about, he says. The head writers of this show are in their 50s, and boy, you can tell. Woke kids these days.
That's my greatest takeaway from at least these first 2 episodes, probably the rest of the series if I were to watch it, is God, these are adults writing teenagers.
Yeah. But that's the other thing about it is I would say that the bigger problem is
and they also don't write adults very good either.
James's character is like, he really doesn't have like the thing that you could say about How Do You Do, Fellow Kids, apply that to like gay people.
Yeah.
Yep.
His whole character, he has nothing else.
He's gay.
Other than
that's his character,
going on other than he is gay. That is it.
Yeah.
And it the failures of the writing really come to fruition like later. They really start to stand out, where it's just like, okay, I know exactly what this character is going to say before he says it.
The show struggles with comic relief in general.
Yeah.
It's not funny. I mean, I know that's being. I'm not saying the entire show is abysmal. Whatever, it has its strengths, but one of them is not comedy. And James is often used as a vehicle for comic relief, little pithy remarks, and he's not funny.
There were a couple jokes that I laughed quite a bit at, and
there's one joke that got me in episode 2. I'll say that.
Also, I really like. I think the show really finds its footing. And episode 4, Go Eat Worms, because Lucas's character, I just wish that there was more of Lucas. Lucas is a really entertaining character, and if they leaned on him for more of the humor, it would totally work better, I think. But
and it's not it's not the actors either. Like, again, it's like you can tell that like James has got charisma. Like all these guys have charisma. They can all be comic actors, or they could tell a joke. It's just the awkward writing at this point.
Yeah. Now, my favorite joke is in episode 2 when the possessed Justin Long is visiting Nora's coffee shop, and she tells him that he's her son's favorite teacher, and he says, "Okay."
Nathan Bratt, I'm the new English teacher.
My son loves you. I mean, well, he said he's not the worst, which is really the highest compliment you can get from him these days.
Okay.
I thought that was very funny. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so the unnamed girlfriend returns. This is Allison for the listener. This is Allison. She will be named. She shows a TikTok where someone has edited a pig squealing sound over her speech. We can see that the girlfriend's name is Allison from the username, but again, this is not said aloud for some time. Allison wonders aloud who could possibly be trolling her as Isabella lurks around in the background.
Yeah.
Isaiah is called into the coach's office. He is on academic probation unless he gets an A on the
it's not the coach's office, the guidance counselor's office.
Yes, please get that right.
I fucked up.
The only real adult at the school is the guidance counselor. That's it.
There's a nurse in one scene.
The guidance counselor is not named here either, I think, but he is Colin. This is Colin. That is the end of school scenes. I got a little bell here that I will ring whenever there's off-screen gay shit. Off-screen gay shit. It's gonna happen soon.
Okay.
Just wait for it.
Okay.
All right. That's the Disney hallmark. You can tell it's Disney if they're I don't know. I haven't seen the rest of the show. But.
Well, now I will say that I'll say this. Yeah, I skipped through episode 3 a little bit. There is on-screen gay shit.
Yes.
So it does happen.
Okay. That's good at least at some point.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Once. Never
it happens
again.
one time. I mean, it happens one time, but I mean, yeah, maybe it happens again later. But you obviously, as you know more than I do, so.
In that episode.
Well, I would say there's some slight on-screen gay shit in episode 2, but it's very minimal.
We'll
minimal.
Okay. Biddle House Day. Cut to the Biddle House, which is being renovated by Isaiah's dad, Ben, for the benefit of the new English teacher, Mr. Bratt, played by Justin Long. Mr. Bratt. As of the first couple episodes, Geelong is easily the most fun character to watch. Mr. Bratt inherited the house, and the two discuss that Harold Biddle died and the parents disappeared after. Bratt attempts to force his way into the basement with a crowbar and cuts himself somehow. They leave to get medical treatment. Bratt's blood on the floor is pulled into the basement door, which slowly starts to open.
Troubling fluid indeed.
Troubled fluid appears. It's there. This is Goosebumps. Ben and his wife, unnamed, are arguing about whether Isaiah is good enough to get a full-ride sports scholarship to sports. Dad says, yeah, he's really good. And Mom says, oh, so I'm just stupid? Is that what you think? I'm just the dumbest idiot in the world and no one could ever doubt that our son is the Jesus Christ of football? That's what you think, husband, if that is your real name? Yeah. Isaiah walks into the contrived argument as his mom says you can't hang the future of your family on your son. Dad and Isaiah share brief, awkward chit-chat. Mom says nothing but looks bemused. This might be the only scene with Isaiah's mom in it. I was wrong. But I might be very wrong. I don't know, but she hasn't been named. Backyard. Any reflections on the occasional contrived arguing so that we have drama?
I think that it is not so good, this part. I think it's not so good. I mean, you gotta give him something. So, in fairness, you gotta have some conflict. And it is important in the scheme of the episode that Isaiah knows that he has to play in this game and do well, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I
there's a
understand
major,
the scaffolding. I think like the real problem is that the show doesn't want any of these people to like have flaws. And so like we get this is not the worst of them. There are some really contrived arguments in episode 2 where like we have to have the characters not be like friends for a sec because then they would help out and then certain things wouldn't occur. But because no one has any like flaws, actually, they're all nice people generally. They all have to be like misunderstandings or like kind of like Adam Sandler-y plot device-y arguments or misunderstandings just to move things forward.
We'll get to I think one of the worst ones later in the first episode. There's one that's like really bad.
You say that, and I don't think you know how. No, I know you don't know how right you are. Like one of the one of the things that I thought was going on at the beginning is that there was like some kind of a prank being played on Biddle, and that's why because there were hints in the first in this episode where Biddle like gets ding dong ditched by fucking demons, and we see one of the doors of his house like open and close as something goes inside, and it's like, oh, in my head it's like, oh, this is like a prank gone wrong,
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this. Okay, if I may make some sweeping generalizations and summarize a lot of stuff very quickly. I also thought so. Our flashback shows Biddle being ding dong ditched before the house catches on fire and and Satanus comes out.
Yeah.
I fully and then so Biddle is awakened by the blood of Mr. Bratt,
by the blood of Christ, and
he begins plaguing our cast as sort of this ominous ghostly figure. And because of the way he was acting towards our cast, specifically a few characters and later towards one adult, I assumed that he knew or thought that the kids in 1993 had murdered him in some capacity. Probably in an accidental thing gone wrong. I suspect as the story goes on, that becomes more complex. But that was fully my impression of it. And that, I mean, also because Nora at the end of episode 1 comes out and says some absolute dog shit about how the sins of the fathers are being visited upon their sons. Which is how normal people talk.
But everybody, it was just a big misunderstanding. And I'm gonna save us all a little bit of time here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut straight to my notes on the final episode, the ending, the denouement. Of the entire series.
Okay.
One mist had gone, but another mist remained. A worst mist. A mist that fogged men's minds. The mist of misunderstanding. Luckily, this mist was just a metaphor and wouldn't really affect things much.
I like that.
Except for the preceding events of the last 10 episodes.
But back to your original point, that if there was one major criticism I would have is that, there are no like really there is a character who has wildly misunderstood what's happening, and there are really no bad people other than like Slappy, and that's it. Like Slappy's a demon fucking thing, obviously it's Slappy. It's one of the reasons why I do not care for Slappy. He is incredibly one note. I'm a little fucking demon, oopa doopa doo, quote Slappy. But the thing that's weird is that your criticism is it's so wild that a person can misunderstand what's happening that badly. Granted, whatever. I'm talking. I shouldn't be saying anything because I got way too far. But I do have you are more right than you know. I will say that.
This is a whole genre of crap writing, and it's so common. It's especially common, I think, in like YA fiction because like they want us very badly to like these characters. It's like important to them, and also like it's got that like kind of like the Disney skunk on it where they're just afraid of making anyone unlikable.
Right. None of the cast have actual problems.
Yeah, it's also
flaws.
It's it's a thing where it's like, well, we don't want to make our gay character bad because then people will think we're being like saying something about gay people. We can't make any black characters bad for the same reason. And let's just go extend that to every person because we don't want the teens to think that we're talking badly of them. Like the closest they get to being like critical in like a kind of gnarly way is Lucas, because he's like
an idiot,
a dumb idiot.
Yeah.
And like all I was a child. All children are idiots. Okay, they're works in progress. That's fine. That's like that's not even a problem. You can depict them being stupid.
Honestly, that's one of the appeals of Goosebumps is that kids are just stupid, and that's one of the fun things about it. Is that normally in a horror story you would be you have the constant like, why the fuck is that character doing that thing? That makes no sense. And the fucking common CinemaSins bullshit of just like, that's unbelievable, or that's not realistic. But it's kids doing dumb shit, and it's like the most believable thing in the world is for a kid to do something fucking stupid. But that's one of the flaws of the show is like, I was talking to Rachel about it because Rachel was watching it with me. And she was saying that this has way more in common with something like Fear Street than something like Goosebumps.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
What I thought watching, and we'll get there as a sort of summative point, but I agree this feels much more like they were trying or wanted to adapt a Fear Street story. But Netflix snatched that right up. But we'll get there. I'll save that point for later. Instead, I'm going to say, speaking of kids being stupid, if I may quickly summate the next scene, Brandon, because Isaiah is freaking out about the game and the stakes riding on it, he needs to ace a history test that he doesn't know about to stay off academic probation. His neighbor, Margot, finds him moping in the yard, and she speaks in a childish language with him, revealing they have been friends for a long time.
Now, what was that language? It was like
I forget what you would call that exactly, but
gibberish, or I forget.
No, it is like a fake language.
It's Wittagong.
You to go to gay?
Our secret language? Really?
Widagi all the guays, Widagoose to the get, Widagins to the gump to the gang, Widagus, Widagong.
Well, we're not 8 anymore.
Wittagong, yeah. But this part is fine. Isaiah basically says he has a lot writing on this test he has to study for, and he asks Margot if she'll let him cheat, and she says yes, for the sake of their friendship. Okay. The funniest part of this, though, is that when they discussed this, Margot said, "How much of the Constitution have you read?" Their exam is just the Constitution?
I can't remember very much about, like, what kind of history stuff we learned when we were in high school, but like I don't remember us having to memorize the Constitution, and I also don't think the majority of Americans know what it means and what it does.
That's not a thing they teach in school.
I specifically remember getting quizzed on. We were tasked with, I think it was actually extra credit to remember, like, to recite as much of the Constitution as we could, and if we could get through the first paragraph. And that's why the "We the People" song, the Constitution song from Schoolhouse Rock, is like stuck in my head forever.
Well,
because that's how I remembered it.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility.
It is really sad that the task was like memorize this shit instead of learn, like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
the articles are really important, actually, and it's important for people to understand what the powers are, because like that should be dictating things. Like maybe but our smart listeners surely know there are 7 articles that respectively describe the bicameral legislature, the executive branch, the judiciary, the states, the process for amending the Constitution, a bunch of random bits and bobs, including the Supremacy Clause, and the process for ratification and amendment, that there are 27 amendments, that the first 10 are called the Bill of Rights and followed the passage of the Constitution 3 years later. Our smart listeners know all of that for sure, and what they all mean too, but most people don't.
Also, it's 2025. The Constitution does not matter.
It doesn't even matter anymore. But it beggars belief. It's one of those belief. It's one of those, like, again, 50-year-old men writing a script for teens where it's like their test, their history test was the Constitution. They just had to read it, and then there's a test on it. Like,
I will say again, I did have this.
Well, you had
thing.
for extra credit to recite the opening paragraph.
Yeah, but the full test was actually on the Constitution. It was about the Constitution exactly.
I believe the concept of a test on the Constitution. I just mean when you usually in a history class for kids, you don't hand them a copy of the Constitution and say, "Read it,
read it, do it."
It's a 100-question test on this.
Yeah, that's a fair point because like the Constitution is also written in a way where even when I was a kid, it was like, hey, what the fuck does this mean? Like, I don't what?
Right,
what?
it's not written in modern English.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Congress.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I'm sure they meant to, or the wording could be just changed to how much about the Constitution have you read? But instead it's just like, oh, okay.
The test is just the question, what is the Constitution? And the majority of the children answer, there is a president who has either all the power or no power, depending on whether you want him to be blamed for problems. And there are a bunch of other people who might do stuff too, but probably less stuff, unless you want them to be blamed for problems. I guess you can't blame people for not knowing that much about a system of rules that is so routinely ignored, skipped, or outright violated by powerful rich people.
Maybe if they'd been given a test in the Constitution in high school, they'd know. But lest you think that it mattered, or there might be some kind of conflict, the cheating happens without any issue whatsoever, because their teacher is just asleep. So, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I think we're getting too real for 420.
Yeah, we need to chill this back out.
Yeah.
Let's take let's chill, but let's take a vibe shift here, because after the test, it's party time, baby. It's Halloween time. Halloween party.
Did we mention that? It's quick. Halloween.
Yeah. Isaiah asks Margot to help him cheat on the history test. She agrees. There are no consequences. It works.
Oh, I didn't realize that like a lot of this show was dumped on October 13th in 2023.
Oh. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fine Halloween piece of media I guess. Like
if you were like a kid that grew up with like Halloween Town or whatever and you wanted some like YA spooky media but right before Halloween, I'm not going to yuck anybody's yums.
You could do worse than this.
Yeah, you could do worse.
You could definitely do worse than this.
Halloween party. It's happening. The costumes choices are
James is a cat girl.
He's a sexy cat, he says
kitten.
in a later episode.
Allison is Kill Bill bride.
There's no universe where Allison has watched Kill Bill.
She looks cool though.
Hey, listen, she did some great work in that costume. If this is a real teen, I'd say I'm impressed for the work you put into this. However, I don't believe that teenage girls in 2023 were watching Kill Bill or even know what that is. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry. Maybe that's closed-minded of me, but I just don't believe they watched it.
Well, they didn't watch any of the Marvel movies because apparently no one knows who Thor is.
Yeah.
Well,
except for Long. Long knows.
Jay Long knows. Our boy Jay Long knows.
Why? Millennial.
Yeah. That was one of the comedy bits, is that Isaiah has brought a wig to be Thor. It's a blonde wig, and the rest of his costume is just cargo shorts and being shirtless.
Yes.
So it's a bad costume objectively, but also no one gets it, or they really just also I think they also just think it's a bad costume is part of the problem.
This is true.
Yeah, shirtless with wig doesn't usually give Thor.
Although I'll also say,
did he have a hammer?
He did. No, he had a very small hammer. He had a regular working hammer or something. He had something in his hand, but it was not Thor's hammer, which probably would have been a helpful tool besides the wig to have. If there were anything I was going to use for a Thor costume to convey that it's Thor, it would probably be hinge really on having a hammer. The number one feature of the costume would be that.
I mean, you could stick anything into like one of those boxes that 24 packs of soda cans come in, and that's like and it would look better. I mean, he's a I don't blame them for not having football guy be crafty or whatever, but
it's fair
still a
enough.
joke.
Although he does have a tool shed and safety goggles, so he could have
That's
made
true. Yeah, all these guys have a fucking tool shed. What the hell? They have like an entire tool room. They can craft.
So they go to the party at the Biddle House. They arrive early, although so does Margot, and she's wrong to do that, even though they said the start time was 8. You're supposed to just know you arrive an hour late. That's such a 50-year-old writing a young person thing. Nobody just does. Nobody intentionally arrives late to parties. It just happens. Like it's just like a thing you do when you're young. Like,
yeah,
and when you're old too. It does not just do it. But the power goes out, and they have to go in the basement, and they find mysterious magic items. And when Isaiah goes to flip the breaker, he finds the evil camera.
Did you see what was on Isaiah's phone as he was looking around? Like, what the hell was that? Does he just have the creepiest wallpaper?
It looked like, to me, his screen was broken, is what I thought. I was like, is his phone broken or something? Yeah, it was like...
It was weird.
Yeah, his art was strange. It was I thought, like... Yeah,
I thought it was like
odd.
A camera for a minute, but
for a second,
no.
I mean, I thought his screen was broken. It was like it was causing the picture to be fucked up.
That would be fun. But if it's fucked up, that would be cool if it was like broken, because as a guy who had a brother who was a footballer. His phone was always broken because of all of the physical stuff that he would be doing.
It wouldn't be that weird to do that for young people, because they often break their phones as do adults, but they also can't afford to buy a new one.
Yeah, it's a nice subtle it's a humanizing thing that would be fun. But yeah, no, he just had some weird I don't know what the hell that was.
I don't know, but he finds the camera. He comes back up in the basement. Spooky fake out scene happens. Oh, also we have skipped, I should say. Margot arrives, and there's some conflict here between Margot and Isaiah and Allison, because Allison is insecure about Margot being good friends with Isaiah, and also the fact that she didn't know she was invited to this party, because Isaiah didn't tell her. And also Margot another fucking 50-year-old writing script thing, because Isaiah tells her she can't come to the basement, and he's like, okay, well, very patriarchal of you. It's like, read the room. read the room, Margot. Read it. Just like...
Also, fuck that they didn't phrase it as stay out of the basement.
I know. Well, spoilers, that's season 2, Bob.
Fine.
That's
I'm
Ross
just putting it out there.
Ross from Friends is the dad in Stay Out of the Basement.
Yeah. The guy who shouts "Pevat" is Goosebumps material.
Brandon, what happens at this party? What's the next thing that happens at this fucking party?
Isaiah finds the evil camera. The basement door closes. He takes his girlfriend's picture. Margot explains that the song "Hey Ya," which came out before she was born, propagated the myth of shaking a Polaroid picture. It is notable that this did not come out before the actor Margot was born. It almost did, but definitely before this teenager would have been born. I presume people still listen to Outkast rules. Later, the party has started. Lucas asks if Margot is sexy Keanu Reeves, though she is wearing a brown trench coat and no glasses at that moment. Strange. Isaiah finally says his girlfriend's name out loud. Wow.
He says it also in a very funny way. He says, Allison!
I can't do this anymore.
Allison. He's like, I'm proud. They told me what her name is. I can say it now. It was really weird for me having to talk around it this whole time.
So while Isaiah and Allison are arguing about Margot's presence and the fact that Isaiah withheld the information that he had invited her, which is, I agree to Allison's point here that it is weird that he didn't tell her. It's weird. I agree. She's correct.
Yeah.
She's correct here. Margot also says that it's bad that he didn't do that. So they're both correct. They're both omnipotently correct. They can do no wrong. But Allison or Margot's there in what she is calling a spy costume, which is just a trench coat and sunglasses. And Lucas comes over to her because he's he's into her. He's like, "Hey, what are you, a sexy Keanu Reeves?" What? Lucas again? What? Like
sexy
what?
Keanu Reeves.
What is that? What is that?
He is supposed to be like the brain damaged guy. So I
mean,
guess
he's
he
dumb.
He said words.
But
I don't know where he got Keanu Reeves.
Is he referencing the Matrix? Because yes. there's a woman on the cover of the Matrix DVD. Like Trinity is a fairly well-known character from the Matrix.
Yeah, but she's wearing a black suit. This one's wearing a brown trench coat, and at the moment he says it, no glasses. Maybe she was supposed to already be having the glasses on, because they do look like Matrix glasses.
I think you guys are looking for logic from the character who in a couple seconds will ask if anyone wants to see him eat a worm. So...
Yeah, well, I
correct you there. He doesn't
think,
ask if anyone wants to see me eat a worm. He literally walks up to Isaiah and says, "Do you want to watch me eat a worm?" And Isaiah says, "Yes."
Yes, that's pretty good.
That was fun. That was funny.
Also, minor spoilers. He does not eat the worm. Later, it cuts away, but later in another episode, Isaiah will say, "Oh yeah, he chickened out. He didn't actually eat the worm."
I feel like we watched him put it in his mouth.
You want to see me eat a worm? And then he's just like, no, I can't do it.
Are we okay? All right. I feel like we saw him do it, but I guess you know
he didn't quite. No, it did look really gross. It was like wet and dripping, and he was holding it. And
I should say he approaches Margot. His approach to this girl he's interested in as super. Now this one, I'll grant you, maybe realistic, is to show her a cup full of worms he found in the kitchen.
Yes.
It's funny as they cut around to it, because when he's talking to her, the cup is extremely obviously fully empty.
Yeah.
Until we get the close up on the cup completely full of worms. Anyway, kids partying. Mr. Brad appears.
Mr. Brad arrives.
It declares it is his house and tells them to get out, but he is being kind of chill about it. Allison walks off into the woods and sees a shadowy figure standing there. She turns, and he is standing in another place. She runs, and now it is Harold in front of her, who bursts into flames. That's the end of that scene.
This scene was foretold by the picture, by the camera.
Yeah.
We'll later find out that the picture that was taken using the evil camera foretold that Allison would have a freak out in the woods.
Yeah, she would be looking uncomfortable.
She'd be looking scared in the woods.
Vaguely uncomfortable.
It was so hard discerning Margot's expression, like what, and then later you realize what's happening. But when you see both of the pictures of Margot and Allison, it's just like, what are they doing? Or they just look.
Yeah. So Isaiah eventually looks at these photos. I forget exactly. It's like after the party, after the wood sequence happens.
This is far in the.
I mean, like the next day, he looks at the photos that have been taken and recognizes the face she's making is the face he saw in the woods, but that her making those because when he finds her. But,
he finds her.
But it is interesting. Yes. Unlike the camera in the book, where the pictures they take are very clearly something is wrong, right?
Yeah.
The pictures taken of Allison and Margot are honestly
extremely
innocuous.
vague.
like they're just like two women looking uncomfortable, which would be what would happen if you flashed a Polaroid in their face randomly as well. So
it's kind of a failure of visual storytelling. They should be doing something that's pretty easy to see. I think they probably thought, should we make Margot's face look like puffed up and red or whatever, but no, we're not gonna.
Well, it's an interesting thing because it provides them with plausible deniability that there is anything supernatural with the camera, but then later it's established that no one else can see the photos. So there is no reason for this.
We have the boy, the Harold is like on fire everywhere. People are seeing him, and granted this is early, so we don't know exactly how direct things are going to get. But still, I mean, I think at the very least, I don't think that the teens would see those Polaroid pictures and be able to connect them to life events. They're just too vague.
Yeah. You could just say they're just bad photos. Yeah.
I will say that the failures that we're pointing out are fixed when Isaiah eventually gets a picture taken of himself, and
that's direct.
It is direct.
Yeah, and it's very obvious. That's not good.
Well, so, I think you have to kind of. I had to kind of pause to look at the picture to see the broken arm in it, but I couldn't really see it.
I thought there was blood in it too, but anyway.
I did. There is. I mean, I think they show it pretty fast, and I didn't immediately read it as him having broken his arm. I had to go back and look at it.
Okay,
but you are correct that in the subsequent photo that I mean, so as Isaiah learns, well, I guess what next happens is that Margot eats the peanut butter, the peanut candy.
Yes.
Right. And Margot sees Biddle in the hall, and then while she's getting a candy bar, and he either she accidentally buys the wrong candy, or he magically ghostly gives her the wrong candy, but she's allergic to nuts. And so she eats nuts, and then she has an allergy attack. But don't worry, Isaiah's here to give her EpiPen.
Because he remembered the picture and was like, oh, fuck, and then ran over there. Yeah.
Hang on, briefly, we skipped something important.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Isaiah and James are talking about how James did a gay makeout with Sam off screen.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's my off-screen gay shit.
I figured the fact that we did not see James in the party, and the fact that he referenced it, and once I found out what they were doing with episode 2 with the character that was about, I assumed we would later see what James was doing at the party, and I assumed that perhaps this would happen on screen. And I was correct in that.
Yeah, once you get to the second episode and you realize what they're doing narratively, it's like, oh, okay, so paying attention to what happened at the party is actually...
We are following these characters through stuff that happens at the party.
Yeah, basically. And we're rewinding
encountering
time.
Their own... Each of the 4 evil objects they were shown in the beginning of the film as being encountered by a different teen. And we are shown... Yeah.
They all housed in the woods. They went into the house in the woods basement, and each of them picked one out.
Yeah.
I was going to make a reference to that with the stay apart gas. But yeah.
Cabin in the woods. Sorry.
It's a little cabin in the woodsy, yeah.
Yeah. I should say, right before this happens, immediately preceding Margot encountering Harold and choking on the candy bar, right before this is where as Isaiah examines the evil pictures after Mr. Bratt brings back his backpack from the house.
Mr. Bratt shows up at school. Yes.
One of my notes is that Isaiah examines the evil picture, and the very next scene is delivering on this because, they had to rush through. I'm kind of surprised that they were able to cram all of this crap into the first episode. They have the setup for our characters, and the evil camera plot is completely in the first episode. It's very fast.
They blaze through Seichi's and Dai. Blaze through it.
Thank you for sticking with the 420.
I mean, you're so welcome. Not intentional, but yes.
420 blaze it.
But yeah, Mr. Bratt shows up at school in a funny scene with Justin Long. Trying to be a cool teacher. Strange sequence. I mean, it feels like a scene that exists so that Isaiah can look at the pictures. like it is sort of what it feels like there. And to establish that Mr. Bratt is the English teacher, the new English teacher. Mm-hmm. It feels like a strange scene. Like what Justin Long's character is asking Isaiah to do is to tell the kids at school that his house is occupied now, but the only person that has access to his house is Isaiah. like Isaiah literally has keys to his house because his dad is working on it. That's the only reason anyone has been inside that house in years. So I don't. It's a strange sequence. But yeah, so Margot begins having an allergy attack, and she is saved by the EpiPen.
I will say, I don't know. I guess I wanted to talk about this a little bit earlier, but it works here too. The effects in this show are actually pretty good. Like they kind of fall apart a little bit.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah,
I think the flame effects on Harold look pretty good.
Yeah. I think they're done pretty damn well.
For a online a streaming kids horror show, yeah, looks great. I mean, it looks pretty solid. Yeah.
Brandon, what
I
the
agree.
fuck did you just post in the Discord?
He posted a little. One of the dogs says "Blaze it."
Okay,
farts.
It says 420. Blaze it.
420. Oh, I didn't see the dog. Discord cut it off. I didn't see the 420.
Oh. Sorry, I meant to post this earlier. It was just sitting in the buffer the whole time. So this is Luigi in a cross of ice.
Mm-hmm.
Bomberman crucified.
Mm-hmm.
Gabumon crucified.
I'm sorry. I don't fuck with Digimon. But what is happening?
He's being crucified for your sins, Bob.
Is that real?
That's real.
Yeah,
that really happens.
He died for our sins, and he came
I don't know
back
that
on
he
the
gets.
third day.
I don't know.
You know the story.
I don't know that he's crucified for that reason, but he is certainly crucified.
Is this?
And then I posted a picture.
Wait.
I
Is
posted a picture of
Digimon
Kamen
just
Rider.
the tale of Jesus Christ? But
No,
Digimon is the Bible.
No,
Okay.
I wish. God, I wish. So Isaiah realizes this camera is cursed. So he goes to James, who nearly hits him with his Jeep, and also takes a picture of him with the camera.
No, his Rubicon.
His Rubicon. Yes, that's right. I scratched my Rubicon, bro. He says.
bruh.
And then he takes a photo of him with the evil camera and says it's stupid to think the cameras are cursed. Although, knowing what I know about the third episode of the show, we know that this is in fact evil James or something. Goop James in this scene. This James, James is made of goop. So now we have, of course, a picture of Isaiah with a broken arm playing football. So now he knows, oh no, if I play football tonight in the big game, I will break my arm, which will be a problem for my career and my scholarship.
I'm going to be haunted as fuck.
I'm gonna be haunted as fuck.
I'm gonna be haunted as fuck, bro.
To be clear,
Mario is describing a compound fracture.
it is a compound fracture. Yes,
It is. He has a bone sticking out his
protruding out of
arm.
his arm. Yeah.
Yes.
We both screamed compound fracture the second that we saw it.
So it's a problem, but he has to play because he needs to be. There's scouts at the game. He needs a scholarship. This is a big deal, so he's conflicted. He goes to Margot, and I gotta talk about this scene. This scene pissed me off. Okay,
This is the most contrived.
this is the most
bit.
contrived scene, right? So Isaiah has this very day saved Margot's life by administering an EpiPen
Literally
during
just finished saving her
just
life.
maybe an hour ago, right?
Which she acknowledges at the beginning.
Yes, she is like, thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you. I really appreciate what you did. He comes up to her, freaked out, okay? Begins talking about how the camera has cursed him, but he tries to show her the photos. And of course, he tried to show James the photos as well, but no one else can see the photos. They just blank photos to everyone else, okay?
Yeah.
So they don't... But it's the conflict here is not that Margot doesn't believe him. Because I want to stress that when he says, I'm really sorry, she's like, I can't believe you're doing this to me. I can't believe this. He goes, I know it's not, I don't believe it either. And she goes, not that. The issue is not
wait,
that she...
real quick.
Yeah.
Listener, guess. Okay, it's a contrived argument. What is she going to do? What is the tack she's going to take against Isaiah in this moment?
What
Isaiah
is the
just
problem
saved her
she
life
has?
and came up to he has come to her friend. They are friends. They are good friends. They are neighbors.
They are childhood friends.
Yeah, he came up to Margot, freaked out, and he's got a problem. And she has a problem with him, though. What is the problem that she is going to bring up?
Predict now. Write it down now. Write it down now.
Going to be mad at him? Why is she going to dismiss him?
So I want to start again. She's not objecting to the fact that the camera is haunted. In fact, the statement she makes implies that she believes the camera is haunted. She objects to the fact that Isaiah keeps bringing his problems to her.
She says, "You always make everything about you." Whoa! What?
Margot,
on the day he saved your life.
This fucking camera's cursed. The ghost camera.
He's like, Margot, I found a bunch of diamonds in my backyard. You always make everything about you. Yeah, absolutely. Like from the we need conflict now writer's handbook. It's like, if you need conflict, just have one of your characters go insane. Just go insane and start needling a person for the following list of things that you don't have to have written before at all. You can just have them say it and then run away.
Yeah.
I'm
Bob,
not being
rebuttal.
contrarian.
Okay, rebuttal. Turn to Bob for the rebuttal.
But legitimately, I don't see the problem here. I think knowing we already get a little bit of their interactions before this. We already kind of understand that maybe there's some unresolved stuff going on here between Isaiah and Margot. And I think that really, I think Margot does a poor job explaining it. Margot. Waiting for Margot.
Margot.
But the thing that's the subtext here is that Margot's really mad that Isaiah wants Margot in his life, but never in the way that either of them want them in their lives.
I mean, I can say textually in this scene, what she says specifically is that she thought he was coming over to make sure she was okay.
Yes.
And she is mad that in fact he came over to tell her about the fact that he was about to break his arm due to a ghost camera that's trying to kill him.
Yeah,
Which
I can
is
see
a problem.
totally.
And in her mind, no matter what it is, it's a problem. And yet again, Isaiah only thinks of Margot in terms of like a person who can support her and help him figure out how to solve his problems.
I can
see that.
I can see that, and I recognize that.
It should be noted that they have fallen out of being like close. They still have these unresolved feelings, but they have fallen out, and the only reason that they started hanging out now is because of Isaiah needing help with his test.
That's
the entire reason that they started talking.
Right. You are totally right.
In like tying that moment together with the only reason that Margot went to the party is because Isaiah wanted to thank her for helping him cheat on his test so that he can go to this game and potentially, solidify his future with scholarships.
I think the reason this scene is like this is like, I think they tonally knew all of that, and either it just needed a second pass, or this is a consequence of the fact that they have to cram all of this crap into the first episode, and they have to just book it so fast they don't have time to like really set up this conflict. Because from the way the episode is put together, it's like Margot and Isaiah are good friends, and he saves her life, and then the very next scene, she's just suddenly like bringing up a bunch of stuff without actually bringing it up very quickly. This scene is very rushed. It's they have to rush through it, and so they can't like properly give all of this its time.
I have no issue with this conflict, and I totally, Bob, I get it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's there. It is there. It is there. And that's totally fine. My bigger issue is the way this scene is written. It makes it sound like Margot fully believes the camera is haunted, but also just said, I don't want to make that my fucking problem. You need to handle your haunted camera your fucking self.
Acknowledging the haunted camera.
That's the problem I have with the scene.
It is very funny to me that we have been talking for like 20 minutes about like what takes 30 seconds in the show, and my next note is Isaiah goes home and destroys the camera.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
There's nothing to say about that. He does the right thing. That's the correct thing to do.
He does not just the correct thing. He does the safe thing, because he puts on safety goggles before he destroys his camera.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. I love that so much. It's like no other protective gear, not even I don't think was he wearing gloves? I don't think he was wearing gloves.
I don't think he was.
But
he also pours lighter fluid on it and sets it on fire.
That's right. That's right.
But he's got the glasses, safety glasses.
And that was on a workbench, right?
Presumably his dad's shed. I mean, I liked that
Last
scene.
of Us crafting
I thought that scene was really good. That is exactly what I would think a team would do, minus the part where they exercise workplace safety. Silly though it is that they definitely were like, okay, well, the actor playing Isaiah for sure has to wear safety goggles in this scene, because we're going to be like...
That's everything you need. He didn't wear a respirator even though there was an open flame.
That's true.
Come on, guys.
Game time, baby.
Game. Isaiah's playing the football. At halftime, Isaiah finds the camera in his locker. They do the shot. They do the dolly zoom.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I love it.
Yeah, everybody. It looks so good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
He begins to panic. He tells the other players to protect the QB instead of do the football. Things start to go badly in the game. He tries to call timeout, but Harold is the referee, and he's on fire. The field catches fire, and everyone around him turns into demons. I thought the effects looked pretty good in this scene.
I agree.
Yeah.
Only Isaiah can see the demons, though. Nora sees that he's freaking out and inherently understands that something is wrong. Isaiah is tackled and receives the fated compound fracture.
I thought the effects were cool. I thought it was interesting that as the camera goes, I guess you can make it doesn't matter. It's stupid. The rules don't matter with the fucking camera. It was just funny that like Biddle appeared because of the Allison and Margot have both been affected by the camera, and both of them were affected by Biddle, and they just had Biddle show up and stand in the hallway, whereas Isaiah gets his picture taken, and Biddle sends him to hell.
Yeah.
I love it.
Sends him straight to hell.
It's an escalation, to be sure.
All the football players being like zombies and like, yeah, that's fucking.
I also thought it was funny, or what I was thinking while watching it was like, so the fire hell demons appeared to have originally they appeared to just be the other players in the field. So I thought he was like hallucinating that, right? And I really couldn't quite tell if he was still actually playing the game or not. Like, if the events that were happening were him being pursued by hell demons completely in his mind, or if he was being pursued because he was literally carrying the ball. But then a bunch of hell demons crawled over the ground, and I was like, well, that's too many men on the field, ref. You gotta throw a car on that one.
That's a penalty.
You gotta blow a whistle on that one, ref. That's way too many boys in the field.
Harold was the ref. He wasn't doing his job.
That's true.
But I mean, like, who watches the watchers?
But yeah, exactly. But so Nora also sees, like, you can, in the way they shoot Nora, she has like flames in her glasses.
Yes.
So I couldn't quite tell if Nora did actually. Well, also Biddle looks directly at her at one point.
She recalls this in a later scene as well. So like she is aware that Harold is there. She sees in her mind like him on the field on fire.
At least that part she sees.
So.
Yeah.
This is actually one of the more interesting aspects of the show. If you want me to maybe
spoil it, lay it on me. Just hit me with it.
Nora is basically like, I don't even know what you would call her. I think I would probably call her like a sensitive or something.
So she's a little psychic.
She's
a little bit
sensitive.
psychic.
Not only that, but there's a really subtle thing that later on, like when they talk about like when Nora was a teen with her friends and all of these kids' parents at their school. There's a scene where where Nora walks into Biddle talking to Slappy, and Nora immediately like takes everything at face value and kind of immediately knows what's going on and runs out and to get her friends to tell them like, hey, this fucked situation is happening. Like
so much like weird. Margot, she also instantly believes in cursed objects.
But it makes sense because immediately Slappy, like, look, it's a scene that you might miss. So it's like it's important to catch this because Slappy turns to her and goes, there's something weird about that girl. And so it's like a hint that like she's got some sensitive stuff.
She's
going on.
She's
sensitive. Like a medium or something.
She's got midichlorians.
So she's got midichlorians.
3 dogs in a trench coat.
She's 3 dogs in a trench coat. I mean, I definitely gathered from this scene, at least, there was some meaningful connection between her and Biddle. That is my immediate takeaway, knowing nothing else.
Yeah.
Is that she, and also, I mean, from the next scene, we're in the hospital where we find out that Isaiah will recover from this injury, but it will take months. And Isaiah, I mean, it's not I understand his reaction because he's a teen and it's frustrating, but it is very funny where he like gets shitty with his dad about his dad being like, you're gonna make a full recovery, and he's like, that's too long. It's like, yeah, man, what do you want me to fucking do about it? I can't unbreak your arm. I can't reverse time.
And the dad says, we'll find a way to pay your tuition. And the mom now is like, yeah. Everybody's having conflict
in this scene. And then Nora shows up and is like, Ben, Isaiah's dad, we have to talk. Biddle has come to pay for the sins of the fathers on the blood of the son. And it's like, what the fuck, Nora? And weirdly, Ben reacts like, oh fuck, she's right. Next episode, though, he does not agree.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get the crew together. Yes.
And I thought, oh wow, the parents are like on board with this. This is like a Freddy Krueger thing. Like, the parents know we're gonna have to fight this ghost. No, it is like a Freddy Krueger thing where the parents reject the fact that he's back. Yeah. And then I get those goosebumps every time.
I get those goosebumps every time.
Importantly, the way that she phrases this to Ben in the hospital,
lay it on me. It's very silly.
Yeah, she in the hallway. Nora stops Ben and tells him that she saw Harold and that he's come to pay them back for what, quote, we did to him. So again, this is when Bob was saying he thought that they were setting up for like they fucking killed Harold or whatever.
I assumed
I assumed that from this.
Yes.
That they were being monstrous teens and it turned into an accident that killed him or something.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a little rote, but that would be my assumption.
At the very least, they're hiding something.
They're complicit in some way.
And they I think they explicitly state at one point that like our lives will be ruined if the truth gets out.
Yeah. The final thing that happens in this house is Mr. Brat is at the Biddle house. Harold is standing there, turns to ashes, and flies up into Mr. Brat's whole nose and mouth situation.
Yes.
He is possessed. Then you get those goosebumps every time.
Yeah, you're right.
I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich. Throw that to the...
I need that Heimlich. Can I quickly ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I got a couple questions. One, how do we feel about the intro to this Goosebumps show?
Oh, you mean the episode intro? The episode,
yes.
the
title
ink on
card.
Ink on page.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's ink draining across a page. I think it looks very professional.
Yeah.
I don't feel anything
sterile.
about it.
I think it's sterile.
I think that's why it sucks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think it's a little boring.
I think that the original TV intro is perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, why not? Like, let's play up the nostalgia. You know, the whole show.
There
is
needs
about
to be a
messing around with
dog
it.
barking evilly. I need the
Bark,
dog
bark,
to bark.
bark,
I need the bark, bark.
Yeah, come on.
It's a very sterile. Feels a little bit too. It feels a little too prestige TV to me. For what we're getting here. It could be way more fun.
Yeah,
it could be way more
totally
fun.
Be more.
Yeah,
yeah. I think that's probably one of the qualities I like least about the show. Is it's just I wish it had more fun.
A little dry,
and it's a little sterile. It's just a little sterile the whole time. Like
yeah, and I think one of the things the cinema sinification of media has really sucked because I feel like things are trying to be way more realistic now. And I wish that they would just have fun with it. I wish that people could be a little bit more whimsical and not necessarily.
I mean, not to get ahead of things, but this is the thing that Brandon and I were talking about when watching this is, who is this for?
Yeah.
Like, who's the audience for this?
Like, it gives YA, but there's times where it seems like it's aiming higher or lower.
Like, they've chosen to adapt Goosebumps, which is a children's book. I mean, in our target audience, 12 years old. Okay, right? Because it's right. But they've aged everyone up and they've made it, it's not exactly a cool Goosebumps that fucks, but it's definitely a cool Goosebumps that like makes out a little bit.
That does kissing.
Does kissing. There's smooching in it. So that's kind of weird. So it's not really a show for the audience of people who would be reading Goosebumps, a book series that is still being published. It's probably a little bit too YA for the people who watched or read Goosebumps as kids. The prime market, I would think.
That to answer your question, I think that it's for multiple audiences, and it's playing with our expectations, and it's also speaking to multiple different audiences. I don't think that any one specific audience would get everything out of this, but I think that if you're watching it as an older millennial who grew up with Goosebumps, you'll get something out of it. And then if you're watching it as like a teen, I think that we are correct in our original criticism that this is a little bit more YA than I think Goosebumps is known for or should be known for. I think Goosebumps over the years has kind of shifted to being more like way more YA than it originally was. And I don't know if I agree with that because the premise of Goosebumps is really just kind of like it's a little bit more zany than something more realistic and grounded like Fear Street. I was talking to Rachel about it. I haven't really read Fear Street, but according to Rachel, like Fear Street is way more about like the real dangers of like being a teen.
Yeah, it is.
And like,
it is. There is much less supernatural stuff.
Like your boyfriend being a murderer.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And that feels.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
There is much less supernatural stuff in Fear Street. Is a thing I know about it. Now, interestingly, the Fear Street movies at Netflix had a bunch of.
There's time travel. There's magical time travel.
There's tons of supernatural shit on it. In fact, it's entirely supernatural.
Sometimes I wonder, and I'm not presuming to know anything because I'm so far away from anything even close to the production of these sorts of things. It feels to me sometimes like the writers and the people working on it are kind of like bored with the idea of just writing kids media, and they like are trying to plus it up in some way to make it interesting to themselves. It's like when I hear this script and they've got like little jabs thrown at Gen Zers or something like that, like the guidance counselor joke, or it's someone something that happened that I can tell my therapist about. I'm like, who's this for? Is this for us? Is this for the 50-year-old writers of the show?
there's a line one of the kids specifically criticizes, like millennials. I forget exactly what the criticism was, and I forget if it was in this episode. But yeah, the kids do throw a jab at millennials.
Well, it's also,
but then there's also a later episode where the possessed Biddle through his the person he's possessing. Says like that's the problem with kids. You kids these days, you can only like ingest short form stuff. Your attention spans are shot. YouTube has ruined it for you, or something along those lines. And it's like that doesn't even make sense, because has Biddle been alive this whole time? Like is Biddle,
how does Biddle know that? Like,
what does he know? How does he know what a YouTube is?
He says YouTubes because it's funny to make something plural.
It's also just like, again, the thing I said earlier, it's like, I feel like I understand. I say this recognizing fully there's a lot that goes into it, and it's more complicated than a sweeping generalization I'm about to make. But it just sort of feels like they could have just not done
this.
They could have called it Goosebumps something else, you know what I mean, like, or not even Goosebumps, and just not had the Goosebumps parts to it, you know, like it feels just so perfunctory to have these parts.
I'm glad that people got paid to work on it.
That's true. That's true. Like, yeah, glad Justin Long got a paycheck.
Even if I don't like it, I'm glad that these people got work.
If it makes you feel any better, the second season is called Goosebumps: The Vanishing. So
it is, but also they adapt a few stories there.
Yeah, which is like what I don't understand. I really wish that, because you are tuning into something. I think that's a very real criticism of not just the show, but like what Goosebumps means to people, like what the brand is. Because I think that a lot of people, when they think of Goosebumps, they think of when they're writing for it, and especially for the show and the writers of the show, they think, what is Goosebumps? And then they look at the past and they look at past books, and they're like, oh, Goosebumps is its history. Goosebumps is the Haunted Mask. It's Stay Out of the Basement. It's Monster Blood. It's all these original books that came out. But really, if you drill down to it, if you get right down to the core of it, what Goosebumps is it's the Twilight Zone for kids.
Yeah.
And I really wish that they opened up the IP to really lean into that, instead of just retreading the same territory that...
Yeah, what if they had just done a new anthology show, which I recognize R.L. Stine has done several of those. Haunting Hour is one.
Right.
But, like, why not just bring back the Goosebumps label for an anthology TV show? Like,
well, I think we can all pretty safely guess that the reason this project happened in the first place was, and again, these are the showrunners, the writers are 50. They didn't grow up with Goosebumps. They were in their 20s when Goosebumps was just getting started, and it would have been a thing they were aware of, probably as a cultural phenomenon, but more from the perspective of a person that might have to buy their kids some Goosebumps books someday, as opposed to, or see them at a Scholastic book fair, as opposed to people that would care about them specifically. They probably saw Fear Street and said, we can adapt another IP in this area. How would we do it? Well, let's take a look at the books. Okay, these are children's books with horror stuff in them. I kind of want to do like a Stranger Things overarching storyline thing, because that's way easier to write, and we wouldn't have we would get to reuse all the same actors.
Yes. That's just a thing I hate about media now, is we have to do that shit.
Yeah, it's 100% production focused first. And like, I don't even think that it's like, there's aspects of the production that are pretty good, but like, I mean, I think everybody knows deep in their heart of hearts, somewhere down there, they know anthology stories, anthology shows, they rule, because it's just like way more value for money. You get to see a lot of cool stuff. And like these overarching storylines are often not very compelling. You know, like they're pretty basic because they have to be, because we're trying to stuff them into this. We're filling up this sausage, and we have to hit our points and stuff, and so it leads to like all kinds of weird pacing. I understand why people think that they can do this. I understand why they try to do it. I just don't think like it often doesn't really work.
So to something you said, Brandon, which I think is extremely on point. the Fear Street comparison, or they saw Fear Street. Actually, Fear Street, this interproduction, like before the Fear Street thing came out, or the deal was made. And Fear Street had been in production hell for like years. I'm literally just learned this. But what I bet they said was that they saw, or what happened is they saw Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And said, we need to do a 90s one for 90s kids.
I think there were a ton of projects that bloomed in people's brains when they saw Stranger Things. I mean, there's always nostalgia-based TV shows and movies have always been a thing. Back to the Future was like literally a twofer on that. And like, it is one of very, very many. I'm sure every single writer in Hollywood is like, I want to do, a nostalgic thing about my childhood or whatever. It's just like, it's like we have an audience. They're always aiming for an audience, and picking a particular time period and representing that in some way is like shorthand for I'm appealing to this audience.
True.
And also, if you do it in 2 time periods, you're appealing to 2 different audiences. It's like a natural thing for a writer to care about, I think.
Also, I just was going to say, a thing that drives me crazy is that, and horror podcasts do this too. A lot of horror media and media in general does this, because they know that anthology format is not the most marketable form of media, even though to me it seems like it should be a no-brainer, that like one-off episodes are the easiest thing for people to watch.
Yeah, especially if you've got a legacy, a bunch of
legacy franchise.
content.
Yeah, however,
they're worried about retention.
Yeah, because if I'm not listening to fucking 100 hours of shit, like that just makes me not want to engage with it, with your content.
Right.
Yeah.
However, I think that in the streaming format, and also I think people have just learned this, and also I think writers have a difficult time like restraining themselves from doing this in the case of podcasts. But they'll start with the idea of doing an anthology, and then they'll decide that that telling an overarching narrative is like the more compelling story, which it's like in the case of this show, I would say the overarching narrative is more compelling, but it's mostly because in the first 2 episodes, and maybe the first 4, it's that they are forced to minimize the anthology story to such a degree that of course it is less compelling than the overarching narrative, because the story is given like no time to breathe and no time to be lived in. So
I do think they're trying to like, I do like that they're trying to make it Goosebumps, that they're still trying to do the episode stories. They're way too fast. It doesn't really fit. But I was just imagining a version of this where they didn't really, where the stuff is just kind of there superficially and it's the Herald narrative, and that just, at this point, that would seem like so empty to me. I'd be like, where's the Goosebumps? We'd all be criticizing it for not being Goosebumps enough. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's kind of messy and definitely too fast, but I do appreciate that they were trying.
I don't know what I feel. I feel conflicted. I feel conflicted. I think if the Goosebumps stuff wasn't there, I think that the overarching narrative wouldn't feel super compelling. Now
you need to write characters with flaws and stuff.
Maybe it gets more compelling later. I should clarify. But and I don't think, I mean, it's not like I'm saying it's doing a disservice to the original, because like that would imply the original was astoundingly good, which it's not. I mean, like we've both read and watched much of Goosebumps, and I can tell you it's fine for kids, probably not great, not great for adults, charming but not good. Right. And although I would say it had more character to it than the way this is presented, to your earlier point, Bob, about it, like the title sequence and just kind of generally to me it feels a little sterile, but it's certainly less, I mean, this is better plotted than an episode of Goosebumps from the 90s.
Oh yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I like it. I think because for what Goosebumps isn't I hate to say this on our Goosebumps podcast, but Goosebumps isn't that good.
No, it's not. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Much of this podcast has been learning that it's frequently bad.
From the perspective of older people reading them.
That's what I was going to say. When we were kids, this was the shit, and it was really cool to be into horror media as a kid.
I think Goosebumps is like foundational horror media for kids, and that's valuable in a different way. Like, even though we're adults and we're reviewing them as adults and we're talking about how how their flaws from the perspective of an adult, like thinking, how would I write this? This feels, there are these problems for it. And even if sometimes it would be like, this would be frustrating for a kid, it's still valuable for those things to exist. I don't think that people that work on children's media get enough credit for doing what they're doing. That stuff is important. It's really, it's nice for people to write things for kids. And no one should take, our very often heavy criticism of narratives aimed at younger people as like, this is bad, this has no value, this is trash. We say that, but like, that's from the perspective of an old man. I'm very glad these things exist, and I hope that there's stuff like this still coming out today, teaching kids like how horror works, and giving them babies' first exposure to how suspense scenes work. It's cool, it's nice, and it makes our lives better. Yeah. So and for what it's worth, I don't hate this show. I have certainly seen worse IP resurrection type shows.
Yes.
I don't think this is the best or most compelling one. But also, I don't even necessarily know that I'm the target audience for it.
I'll also say,
go ahead.
If you like this show, I would say that a better version of this is probably the Sabrina reboot.
I was thinking of the Sabrina reboot, yeah.
Because this shares a lot of DNA with that, a surprising amount. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and you guys were saying that, I think that that the Goosebumps show definitely owes its existence to Stranger Things in some part, but I also think that it owes its existence to the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah.
And like the whole Netflix, like let's revive a bunch of IPs, and the dark side of which is shit like the Avatar movie.
Yeah.
The darkest side, the saddest side.
Yeah. I just think that they're I think the core question is, what is Goosebumps? And I think that a lot of the criticism of this show can be distilled down to what is it and how can it properly exist? And I think that the anthology idea is 1000% on point. I think that you can do an anthology series, and I think that this show, the newer show, the 2023 show, plays with it, because the first few episodes are basically modern versions of the original. So the Haunted Mask is probably the best example of this, because it has the entire episode to breathe, and we learn the way that the Haunted Mask, the way that it works is very similar to how it works in the book. And I think that this is probably the best example of this. However, it's still bogged down by the overall story. It's still
yes. I was going to say,
yeah. But what I'm saying is that if we were to get close to that, this episode would be the closest we could get to that. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say is you can still do an anthology series and have an overarching narrative in the background happening. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's a really interesting and compelling way to do a story like this. However, the background story that should be happening in the background is in the foreground. And I think that that's probably the biggest criticism.
Yes, that is I agree completely. Yes. The background story is the focus in this show.
Right. It should be the frame narrative, not the whole show.
Right. And when you realize that actually the Goosebumps TV show, I really wish that they didn't put Slappy in the poster, because that kind of gives it away in a way that, because at a certain point you realize that this entire show is basically one giant reboot of Night of the Living Dummy. And once you realize that, it's the least compelling Goosebumps story. I'm not kidding. I do not like Slappy, and this is one of the reasons I think I don't like Slappy, is because at what point did Goosebumps just become the story of Slappy the Dummy told over and over and over again? I'm tired, man. The movie had something to do with this, although I think the movie does a bunch of really fun and cool things and cute things with the IP. But it's just God, fuck. I'm so sick and tired of Slappy the goddamn dummy.
It could have been worse. They could have rebooted The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
Oh, that's true.
I'll take it, honestly.
I have great news. The second season is apparently, from what I can tell, all Stay Out of the Basement is the the equivalent thing they're doing.
Interesting.
Although it may also be body squishers or squeezers. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I can see that there is a thread between Stay Out of the Basement and
there's something there. Speaking of that, let's just do a top level. Let's just do a top level discussion of Haunted Mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you remember from half an hour ago when I initially started talking about the Haunted Mask, I asked, like, I have a couple questions for you all.
Yeah, sure.
The other one is, who else thought that this character in this episode centers around, whose name I forget,
Isabel.
Or Isabella? Who else thought that this was like a let's get invisible thing? Because she is invisible. Like, no one interacts with her.
She says it aloud.
Like,
she literally says it aloud. Yeah. So I think that, again, so top level. This episode is the Haunted Mask. Ignoring the overarching plot. I'm not even getting into that right now. I'm just going to talk about the plot of this episode. And I'm going to do it quick, because I'm going to tell you what, I don't think it's very good. But I'm not going to do a disservice to it. Okay.
Do 20 sentences.
All right. I'll give it. Okay. So in the last episode, we learned that the AV girl there is an AV girl for the football team. She was recording the pep rally. Okay. This AV girl is the troll being referenced by Allison in the previous episode. We learn this instantly. It's like the first thing we learn. Not that it was a big secret, because she's in the background of every scene they talk about the troll in. And I don't think that's bad. I just mean that they actually do set it up. So to their credit, it is actually there. That's a good thing.
It becomes relevant very quickly.
She's Goosebumps Rorschach, is what you're saying.
Right. She is there. It is not a bad thing that you can tell this. It is actually good writing. But they reveal to you immediately that she is an online troll. Okay. Yes.
They show her typing the troll comments.
Messages, and literally her screen name is your fave troll. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ignoring that part. We'll talk about that part. But she tries to get Allison's party canceled, but of course, as we know, it goes off. She finds out where it is, because as we saw, she's behind Allison in the scene where they discuss where the party is being moved to. And so she, at the encouragement of her little brother, I'll talk about him later, goes to the party, wherein she finds the Haunted Mask. In this version of the show, the Haunted Mask is like a blank plaster face. Featureless plaster
like
face.
A baby doll.
Like a baby doll-ish, sort of, yeah. Sort of like a stranger's mask. Puts it on, and for about 5 seconds, has a personality at this party. She has struggled with the fact that she is unseen at school, doesn't have many friends, or any would appear, and is ignored and not respected by her peers and also the adults around her. So she puts the mask on and becomes a cool person. It would appear for the one scene it happens.
A really, really bizarre feeling scene.
Yes, an awful scene.
She's wearing this goofy baby mask, and the diegetic music makes her to be all of that, and everybody is like spellbound by her.
Yeah.
She does the like finger on a person's shoulder walk around thing.
Yeah.
To Isaiah, who is bewitched by.
Well, she does it to Allison as well. So apparently she is. Yeah. Either the mask has allowed her to reveal her latent bisexuality, or the evil mask makes you gay.
On-screen gay shit.
Hard to tell. I don't know if it's brought up later, but hard to tell in this scene whether or not that's inherent to Isabella, or if that is the spooky mask makes you gay.
From the moment she puts on the mask to the end of the scene is like 40 seconds. It's
wild.
So strange.
It's wild how it doesn't work. And again, it's one of those things where if you weren't doing a bunch of stuff with your frame narrative, you would give more time for this scene to breathe.
That would needed to be longer. She needed,
for
because
sure.
Like, it's such a strange premise. She needed to have like everybody in the party legitimately like into her. She needed to do something cool. She needed to do a keg
She
stand.
just walks into the room and people are like, "Whoa, what a hot babe!" She's wearing the same costume as before, but now she has a very disturbing baby face on. So it doesn't really read to me me.
costume
Like,
either. Like if she's supposed to be like appealing to all these people, it's she's wearing a vampire costume.
it's
that's
a pretty
very, like,
standard
not revealing
costume
and a weird baby face, and it's like. I could buy. You could write the scene in such a way. This is 100% a consequence of the fact that they had to book it through the episode narrative.
She then resumes her. Also, extremely fucking funny. After the party, she goes home, and the mask has a smile on its face, right?
Yeah.
But because it is this kind of mask, all I can think of is the scene in Scary Movie 1 where the ghost face mask is smoking weed 420 and it has like a goofy I'm high face on. That's all I could think was the way the ghost face mask looks.
It is a very goofy looking face.
When it's like, that's all I could think.
I'm glad
that's funny you mentioned that too, because Isaiah Howard at certain moments, his inflection and the way he acts
sounds a little bit like
very Wayans-y. Wayans brother kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. Kudos to him on a very convincing American accent.
Margot's voice actress is also British, is she not?
She is definitely not American. I feel confident on that
she's
one, right?
Isa Briones. She was born in London.
Yeah, she's British.
Wow.
Yeah, I figured she was British. I thought she must have been.
Her family moved to LA when she was young.
So she probably, yeah.
I was like, she doesn't. She sounds like she's not like trying so hard or whatever.
Kudos to Zach Morris. Great American accent for a UK-based teen or kid, young actor. Regardless, so the next day she goes to school and has an issue wherein Lucas destroys her dad's $3,000 drone, which he decided to use to film the football practices for some reason. She goes to the guidance counselor with Lucas, and at the encouragement of the mask, sort of chews out Lucas and the guidance counselor. She's very mean to them. Although, in fairness, Lucas is a fucking idiot and destroyed a $3,000 piece of equipment. So I can't really say she's not right to be pissed off at him. And also that she's not right that $5 a week he'll never repay that he'll never pay that back. That's a bad. The guidance counselor suggests a payment plan, and he says I can pay $5, which it's like, no, actually that's bad. No. So anyway, she's grounded because the drum was her dad's.
Really quick, I do want to say something about the principal's office, guidance counselor's office.
Sure.
That Lucas is in the room. So when she finally leaves after flipping out and saying some probably true but very hurtful things about Lucas and to the guidance counselor because of the whispering of the evil mask.
Yeah.
She leaves the room and Lucas says something like, so am I off the hook or whatever? And it's like, oh my God, it's the first time that one of these teens has been allowed to be a piece of shit.
Yes, to their credit, Lucas is allowed to be shitty in this scene.
Yeah, like he was like, he obviously doesn't care. He like reads like a real teenager. It's like, if he's supposed to be the kind of like messed up stoner kid that keeps fucking up and doesn't like have responsibility and doesn't take responsibility for his actions or whatever, we all knew that kid or were that kid.
That's true.
Like this reads as a teenager.
Now,
here.
Granted, it comes after he begins talking about how he was thinking about the robot uprising or some shit while he was doing it. Which is extremely unfunny and not good.
Let your characters have flaws, please.
Just let your kids be kids.
And not just that they're like LOL so random or really goofy or they're really forgetful, man, or something like that. Like actual teenager flaws. Like, write your teens like teens.
A
little bit.
I will say, and you're right. I wish that they did that. However, this character
has flaws. Well, he has stuff going on.
Has stuff going on.
Also, this would be after the party, wouldn't it? So this is after he has been involved in the Go Eat Worms thing.
No,
it's not.
We go back in time. We
go back in time, and remember, he does not eat the worm. At the
no,
party.
But I mean, I just mean that he at this point wouldn't he be involved in his own Goosebumps story? As this,
not yet. This is before the party. This is Isaiah's arm is still not broken.
The drone scene?
No.
The drone scene is for sure after the party because he literally wants to watch the footage of the.
That's why.
You're right.
That's why.
Sorry.
But
yeah,
but it's still not. He is not in his own Goosebumps story. He is not at Go Eat Worms level yet.
Okay, so he is not in some way being compelled by worms. Got it. Okay.
Not yet.
Right.
No.
Okay.
He's still his own person. He's still being affected by his own personal stuff. Where
they
may come across as a stoner, but he is not. He is just. How do I say? He is avoiding.
Well, they say in the very next scene is the guidance counselor talking to his mom, with whom he is having an affair.
Yes.
And she mentions that he is not handling the death of his dad well.
Yes.
Appropriately.
I didn't remember if that's like revealed in this episode
or
yes,
appropriately to her vision of what he would be doing. That he is self-destructive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously him being a annoying shitty teen is coming from something.
Right.
Yeah. No, I wasn't saying that was a flaw. I was saying that's good that he has any flaw.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if he didn't have like a reason to be that way, teens are like, even if they don't have like a dead dad in the family or something that dramatic, they're works in progress. And like one of the things we were complaining about in the first episode is that we're like, these don't really feel like people because they're all too nice.
Yeah, no one can make a mistake. And
right. Whereas Lucas is allowed to make mistakes.
And also Isabella.
Isabella, I think is Isabella is an Animal Crossing character. I'm the one that said it, so it's on me.
It is Isabella on the wiki that shall not be named.
Yeah, I originally called her Isabel, which is the name of the character from Animal Crossing.
Okay, right.
Isabella is her actual name. No, you are correct.
But I forgot what I was going to say.
I mean, she is also she's a flawed character.
Yeah, and that's the thrust of this episode is her flaw, is her like sort of reflecting on her flaws.
Well, that is the thrust of the 20 minutes she gets on screen in this episode.
Yes, and I will say that it feels like, especially with this and Go Eat Worms and what's the next episode?
Cuckoo
Clock of Doom. A lot of these episodes have to do with like putting a magnifying glass on the flaws of either the kids or the parents of the kids. And I think the Cuckoo Clock of Doom specifically calls this out.
I'm guessing parent related.
Go Eat Worms is entirely about Lucas and why he is the way that he is, because he's a stoner without being a stoner. He's basically handling the death of his father really badly. To put a cap on our Isabella plotline, following the grounding, she puts the mask on again and goes to Lucas's residence and fucking decks him into a garbage can and then beats the shit out of him with a skateboard, which was great.
Which was great. I love that. Didn't super love the mask at that point. The mask transforms and makes her into an actual troll. What? Yeah. Look at that. Doesn't look great in my opinion, but okay. If someone disagrees, fair enough. Doesn't look as good as the original mask, in my opinion.
Oh no!
Looks. I mean, one, it's kind of I'm not saying the CG itself is bad. It's streaming quality, but I mean the design of the face to me is a little sterile again. It's
yeah. If this was like a suit that they made like physically or like a rubberized whatever that material is, you'd be like, you probably want to throw some color on there. This looks just like an unfinished.
It just looks like if you thought of troll in your mind and then also removed some detail from it. It's like it has a big nose, it has sharp teeth, it has pointy ears. It should have been green. It should have fucking looked like a World of Warcraft troll. in my opinion, that would have been cool.
Yeah. It's weird that it's flesh tone.
Yeah, it is flesh tone.
That's all. That's my only problem. Actually,
make it green. If it were green, I would say, oh, it's the haunted mask. Or
a troll,
or a troll. Even. But
I do like the Gollum-esque look to it in certain scenes.
I mean, I would say
I think the model looks good.
I would say
the CG is good,
fine.
But it's Gollum. Why isn't like the haunted mask is one of those like iconic fucking things.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing this specifically to call back to the haunted mask, just make her green. Did they not make her green because they wanted her like arms to like blend with the rest? I have no understand.
idea. I don't know.
I think there were a couple of times where they've made decisions that were like misguided, in my opinion, where they're trying to like they're like, the tone is occasionally like, we want this to be believable. Like with the pictures that don't read in the first episode is the same thing. It's like, you can go a little harder than that. We are like, by the end of that episode, a dead child has fully possessed a teacher by burning alive and running up his nose after he set a football field into hell world. We don't need this to read as realistic.
You can go harder than
you
this.
can be fanciful.
Yeah.
And make the goblin green. Make the troll green.
I
You're
agree.
not going to make it look exactly like the haunted mask. It shouldn't look like it's a flesh tone. That's it doesn't matter that it looks like a person.
Following this, Margot and Isaiah arrive because they want to talk to Lucas's mom. We can discuss the overarching plot separately if we so desire, but just to get the pin on the haunted mask part. She goes home where she trashes the kitchen. Her brother, I don't even know her brother's name, if he is named, is there at home alone. He calls her, realizes that it's her because he thinks she's out and he's trying to get her to come home to save him from a burglar or something. She pursues him into a treehouse, and then before she can hurt him, he's like, "It's me," and then she's like, "Oh no, what have I become?" and takes the mask off, and then they throw the mask in a river. This runtime of this part of the story is probably cumulatively maybe 20 minutes, generously. I think it's probably less.
Of a 45-minute TV
of a 40
episode.
Yeah, and the structure is fine, and I have no issue with the troll thing is a little bit okay, on the nosy, but okay, fine, fair enough. If you want to make your story about internet trolls, okay, all right, fine. I don't think it's great, but it's not nothing. There is a vein of story there you could mine. But the greater problem is that it's just like it has no time to build up. Like,
yeah,
she puts the mask on, becomes bisexual. Okay. She has an argument at school, and then she puts the mask on and immediately becomes a troll monster and tries to murder Lucas. And then she goes home and takes the mask off because her brother appeals to her and she loves her brother. We've never seen, they have interacted, but it is not really clear that they're very close. You know what I mean?
He appears for the first time at the beginning of this episode.
He is also staggeringly written, not like a child, aggressively unchild. He talks about the whims of fate. Like he also talks about the history of vampires. And
how they never go out of style. A 12-year-old is like, yeah, man, like when I was in 1976, when I was a child originally.
He is the most clearly written by a 50-something-year-old adult that a child could ever be. They make no pretense that he is a child in this story.
Isabella says to her kid brother,
Alan,
I just feel like I'm invisible, and he gazes up into the sky and says, "Would that it were so simple."
It's just it's strange because these are non-characters. There's even the part we were talking about where we were watching it when Isabella's mom is on the phone with her estranged dad. I guess they're going through a separation or something like that. And she says, "I just wanted to talk to you about the situation with Isabella and how you would handle it." It's like, that's not how humans talk.
I'd just like to prompt you for the fact that we are estranged.
I would just like to prompt you for your opinion on Ari Isabella, our daughter, and what is going on with her situation.
An out loud email.
We did not have time to flesh this character out. We just wanted to get this one on the screen.
They have no time. Yeah. Again, I understand what they're trying to do, and I fully appreciate, I think that it is right generally for them to be trying to do episodes that are like self-contained, that are one particular story. It just the frame narrative taking so much time makes it impossible, and they have to run through it so fast that it's impossible to make these people feel like humans.
The final 5 minutes of the Haunted Mask story feel extremely unearned, and that is a consequence of it not having given enough time in the episode.
Yeah.
The beats are all fine. They could work fine. They just don't have enough time to do it. And that's my criticism of that episode.
Did we talk about how he could jam on an egg sandwich?
No, we did not talk about Biddle at all.
Okay, he could jam on an egg sandwich.
Justin Long, fully possessed by the ghost of a child from the 90s, goes to school and has a funny, Men in Black body walk scene. And then he also sort of threatens Isaiah in a locker room by dressing as a referee, and sort of intimating his knowledge of Isaiah's family history. And then he goes to get an egg sandwich at Nora's bakery, and she says, "We're closed." And he says, "Aw, man, I was really hoping to jam on an egg sandwich."
I'm sorry. We're actually closing. We're not open for dinner.
Ah, no. Shoot. I was really hoping to jam on an egg sandwich.
He also hears the song Nine Inch Nails song
diegetically.
Terrible Lie playing on the PA, and he's like, "I love this song. I'm a kid in the 90s." And then,
that was when we were sending you the messages about No Cap. We were like, did any kid in the 90s say, "I want to jam on an egg sandwich"?
yeah, maybe they did. I mean, the writers were like in their 20s during the 90s, or what were they? No. Yeah. They were like actually coming out of high school, one of them, and one of them was in their 20s. So maybe they would know.
I was just trying to think, what would I have said if I was eating an egg or watching an egg sandwich? Probably, please give me an egg sandwich.
Said in 2004 or 2004
I want to horf that.
when we were
I
in
want
high
to
school.
horf that sloppy yolk, Mom.
I horf on that glorf until my egg go goog. That's what we would be like, Bob.
Yes.
Your thoughts.
How would you have said, "I want to eat that egg sandwich" in high school?
Rot in hell. Rot in hell. Rot in hell.
Should we say a prayer or something?
Rotten hell?
Rot in hell.
Rotten hell!
Rot in 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 hell!
Ah!
Ah!
For those who don't know, when they throw the mask into the river,
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Doesn't
they're
work.
just like yelling "rot in hell" at it, and it's supposed to be funny, and it's not. It's just way too like one "rot in hell" would have been fine, but anyway. But yeah, in terms of like this episode, I didn't think it was bad. I thought that it was, for what I thought the Goosebumps show was going to be. I thought that it was going to be more of this, but obviously with like the story that's happening in the background, like way more in the background, and with the haunted mask actually taking up a good portion of the story. And I think that it would have been served better had it done that.
Yeah.
That being said, I think it still maintains a lot of the core idea of what the haunted mask is, which is more than I can say for the next episode, The Cuckoo Clock of Doom. But I like how I think we're skipping over a lot of stuff. And that's fine. I don't need to go back and like rehash it. But I will say that there is a lot more context being given to in certain scenes for why Isabella is like really fucking mad and why she kicks the absolute shit out of Lucas.
Well, he broke his $3,000 drone to be in a very stupid way.
She also gets grounded and her phone is taken away and she's not able to use her computer for homework. And the response to how the hell am I going to do my homework is her mom's basically saying like, you're going to do it like, we used to do it back in the day. Long form.
I mean, she absolutely. I just mean that literally there's not a lot of time spent on her struggling to function without a phone or laptop because the next fucking scene is her going to kill Lucas.
Yeah.
Right. Because
I mean, like there is an extremely unfair teenager moment where her mom is like, she's like, Lucas broke it. It was some other random kid broke the drone. It wasn't me. And her mom is like, well, it was your responsibility. It's something really, really unfair.
She did take her dad's $3,000 drone to school to film football practices without permission. So, I mean, like, admittedly, I can't say that she's entirely wrong that Isabella fucked up here. In fact, I don't know why Isabella did that, but just given her character, I guess
like the implication is the reason that she's like trying to do all of this stuff
to
is
like
that she
stand
feels
out,
invisible, and she wants to stand out somehow.
The professionalism of this work would in some way illustrate that she has value as a person. I can get that.
we can see the stuff that's behind these characters. I just don't think like they definitely don't have the time.
That's the thing
to bring it out in a way that makes sense. And like I think they do a decent job for how little time they've got. It's just like impossible, honestly. If they were
you
doing another
you
revision,
couldn't without an extra 30 minutes to. I mean, that it would be that's
it's just a fundamental.
The stuff
problem.
is there. It's in there. It's just it needs more time, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that probably my favorite part of this episode was when Alan, Isabella's younger brother, is like basically hearing something going on downstairs in his home. And so he walks downstairs to investigate, and he sees Isabella transformed by the mask, like smashing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he
picks up the home landline.
Yeah, the landline,
and dials her sister's number, which he knows.
Yes.
Which it's like
50-year-old man in a 12-year-old's body.
But couple things. One, someone needs to teach this kid how to dial 911.
First of all, not his sister's number.
Not his sister's number. Second, I like that scene. It came across perfectly fine. I think that it's ridiculous that he didn't call 911.
Well, I think it's a very adult writing the show to assume that a child his age knows his sister's phone number in any capacity.
Like, I don't know my brother's phone numbers, and I used to have to dial them like with the number. But I mean, like, it's whatever. It's just funny.
It certainly is pedantic. 100%. However, it does sort of jive with the general feeling of these people don't know how to write children in a very different way than R.L. Stein.
Do 12-year-olds get cell phones? Do parents give their...
Yes.
They do, right?
I fucking hope not.
Yes, they do. They do.
Yes, and that's why society is fucked.
And that's why the world's going to explode one day.
For the listener, if anybody is like slightly older or younger than us, the year that every person got a cell phone was 2004. And it was mostly the Nokia brick phones. After that point, that's why the world has fallen off a cliff. We all got the ability to become idiots on the momentary basis. Now I'm 50 years old.
Were you going to say more about the scene with the trash in the kitchen, Bob?
God, I hope not.
Okay. My favorite scene in this episode was, I thought Justin Long walking in the hallway was funny. I thought it was funny. I feel like an interesting, weird little maybe thing left over from a previous draft is that when Justin Long is possessed by Biddle the teen, he goes in the bathroom of the school, and Biddle specifically says through the mirror, "Help me find him." Okay, implying that Biddle is like going to cooperate to find him, but instead he just takes over Justin Long's body and becomes a Monster Mash.
It's like an invitation to. It's like they're gesturing at an overarching narrative that they're not going to tell us about.
It's not a huge criticism. I don't mean that as like show bad. I just mean like a kind of a funny way of wording that. If I were a ghost that was going to possess your body, I probably wouldn't start with the pretense that we could work together on it. Like I'd probably be like, "I'm fucking taking over, man. I'm a ghost."
Yeah, it is a little messy, but Harold's a little messy.
It's not a real criticism. It's just a silly little bit of a dialogue there that I thought was funny.
My favorite moment in the whole episode was easily the part at the party where Isabella is wearing the mask and everybody's like bewitched by her.
Yeah.
Because it's so bizarre that like it actually like breaks through of this is like a Goosebumps IP revival for me, and it's so strange and so weird.
It's very weird.
So doesn't work, but in a very fanciful way that I was really excited by it. I was like, hell yeah, this is weird as hell. This doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, they all love her weird baby mask.
Everyone,
like, please more of this, please.
Bob, I have a genuine question for someone who's watched more of the show. Did they address Isabella's sexuality at all in the rest of the show?
I would say, what do you mean by address? Like whether she, do they confirm or deny whether she's...
Does it come up that she is bisexual in the show?
It's never overtly addressed, but she does, I believe, develop it's inferred. I think she has a thing with what was it, Isaiah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like no.
No. Okay. So that's so a no then. I was just curious if masks make you gay or not. That was all. That's I just thought it was funny.
Do masks make you gay?
Do masks make you gay? Do haunted masks make you gay?
Not gay. Bi.
Well, queer. Do masks make you queer?
Sure.
Like,
Bye. Hello.
Do mask make you bi? It's just funny. It's just like
bye now.
It's just like
famously the G in LGBTQ plus is
Goosebumps.
Stands for Goosebumps.
The G?
The G.
The OG.
In any case, I hope I don't sound like I'm being too negative about this show. I didn't love it, and I think there's problems with it. I think there's worse things you can do with your time than watch it. I mean, it's like there's worse media in this earth than this thing. I hope I
don't come across as I love the show and
Bob,
am completely
Bob loves the Goosebumps
number one
show.
Goosebumps 2023 defender. Bob is here.
I just thought it was a good time. It's not. It's not terrible. You know, it kept me like going. Some of the later episodes are actually legitimately.
Now, again, granted, I have not watched the rest of it. I haven't watched the rest of it, so I get there's mysteries abound in there. Like,
I'm also very happy that there's a difference of opinion on this because sometimes it feels like when we're all reading kids media and it's like not very good, and it's also we're adults and we're reading kids media. And it's like, this sucks, blah, blah, blah. And all three of us are like, man. It's nicer to have a change of pace. It's nice for us to have a discussion on this recorded discussion, you know?
I did like that they didn't waste a bunch of time in episode two with the kids like doubting a supernatural element, because it's one of my least favorite parts of media when they do that. Because Margot again, as established in episode 1, she believed in the haunted camera immediately. Margot immediately is like, wow, it's fucked up. That looks like Margot and Isaiah both see a picture of Biddle from Nora. And immediately they're like, oh, that's something spooky's going on around here.
Doubting the supernatural in one of these types of shows or in horror media in general is like an utter waste of time, like a huge waste of time. You get like one scene of that, and you should just make the supernatural thing so obvious that nobody even wastes their time questioning it, because that is like a cul-de-sac, a total waste of time in supernatural media.
So
you should be using that time to have spooky guys appear.
I thank you, Goosebumps 2023, for that.
They didn't waste their time on that shit. Thank you.
Yeah, the parents do doubt Nora in the end of the episode when Isabella goes to James's house.
There's a bit of unfair parent upbraiding.
But I think we are meant to assume the parents are. I mean, we are meant not to like the parents in this moment. So this
is more of why we thought, like, we haven't seen the rest of the show. We thought that they had actually like fucking killed that kid.
Yeah. Because they like threaten Nora with like losing custody if she talks about Biddle to anyone. And I was like, whoa.
It's knowing where things go and what actually happened really kind of make me question, like, they were so adamant about making like the inferring that the parents were like murderers in these scenes that I think they forgot, like, wait, the parents, like, not to spoil it, but that's not what happened. Like, I won't say anything more, but like, it's just weird knowing stuff and then looking at these scenes and them being like, yeah, we're gonna take your kids away. It's like, I think that I think that part of that was also maybe having to do with Lucas's mom, whose name I forget, being like a sensitive. I think that and especially since Isabella's mom is a doctor, and so which was weird because I thought she was like a nurse at one point.
Oh, I assumed she was a nurse.
Yeah, because she was putting on scrubs and
she was wearing scrubs in one scene. Yeah,
but no, it's revealed later that she's a doctor, and she's able to prescribe medicine to a character, and it was like, huh? It's all over the place, but you know, would you rather them do that or, you know, introduce another character and give them another scene so that it takes up even more time? I don't know. a lot of the problems with the show can really, like Brandon was saying, can really be traced back to just having to book it.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough time.
And I think like I think like most of the like if you were trying to write this show, I think that the worst thing you could have done is completely try to avoid the episodic format. Like I think it's like if you had the Haunted Mask be 4 episodes in a row or something like that, I think that'd be kind of bad.
Yeah,
right.
So they are trying to do the lip service to the episodic nature of the original books. I just think that it's kind of a poor fit. Either the episodes needed to be longer, or as we have all suggested, like they should have basically had the first episode just entirely set up the frame narrative and deal with that stuff, and then they could have started in on the episodic stuff. That probably would have been a better fit, and then downplay the Herald stuff quite as much. I don't know. It would need reworking.
Yeah.
It's not really dreadful for what it is. And they could have done a lot worse for sure.
Yeah.
There is a worse version of this show for sure.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Trouble Fluid at the end of this episode?
I thought that was funny. I thought that was. I was like, oh, I was intrigued by it. I'll put it that way. It intrigued me.
For people,
it was a pretty good hook.
Yeah. For people who don't know, Isabella and what's his name?
James.
John's Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. They're playing pool in their basement, and Isabella.
They're both bad at it.
it's the fucking ball in such a way where it shoots directly at Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt's head, and he explodes into yellow goo. Which they make a joke out of it that Rachel and I both giggled at. In multiple episodes, that this goo canonically smells exactly like watermelon Jolly Ranchers, I believe.
The Gookind.
I love to eat watermelon and Jolly Ranchers while I ride in my Rubicon.
Yeah. They should have had the goo people do product placement, and like that's the tell, is that they're all talking about Pepsi, which they love.
I'll say this: the goo explosion did make me want to watch the next episode. So that's a pretty solid hook.
It woke me up after the scene where they all shout "Go to hell."
That was
yes.
If the show had ended on the "Go to hell" scene, I would have confidently said I have no interest in watching the rest of this. Please, God, no.
It reminded me of the Shadow of Light, or whatever the name of that mean project where people had there was a forum poster that wrote a crappy Legend of Zelda movie like fanfic script or whatever, and then a bunch of 3D animators back in the day made a video off of it. At the end of it, Link is taunting Ganon after he gets the Master Sword. And they do like multiple cuts of the same shot of him holding the sword forward and going ha. So it's just ha ha ha.
Oh no!
Goodbye, Ganon.
But whenever they do that, whenever a movie belabors a scene, I think of that, and I always in my head, I think I said it aloud even when we were watching it. I was like, ha, ha, ha. Goodbye, Ganon.
I think I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
It was like back when it was really impressive that people would do this, and they were wasting their time dunking on this stupid kid and his bad script. Like it felt like something awfully to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's very.
It's like we can only be excited enough to work really hard on something if we're dunking on someone.
So yeah, that's the Goosebumps 2023 season 1 TV show. That's just the first 2 episodes. I guess we should end this with do we recommend people watch it? And I think for me, I think you guys should keep going. I think you will be pleasantly surprised by the quality and it getting picked up a little bit later.
I would say that if you are a fan of Goosebumps, you probably have already seen this, but I would say it is at least a curiosity. You could do way worse than watching 1 episode of it at minimum. And it's a professionally put together show. While I'm criticizing its writing, I criticize it not because it's irredeemably bad, but because I can see the flaws therein of it, where a better script might exist. But I think it's at least worth a look if you're a fan of Goosebumps, or you want some new not spooky, not scary horror thing for a time when you know, if you're like Halloween 2025 and you're like, what do I watch? I don't know. I don't want to watch. What spooky thing can I watch? Well, Goosebumps 2023 is like Halloween themed. There's literally a Halloween party in it. So you could do way worse in that regard. It would be worth a look. I'll say that. I have my problems with it, but it's not a no from me.
Cool. Brandon?
I thought that it was all right. So far, you know, we've noted our problems with it, but I don't think like it's terrible. I think like they're definitely trying. They have avoided some of the biggest pitfalls I think that they could have done with the adaptation. I think I wish it was a little more goosebumpy. I don't mind that it's not like little kids or whatever, but I do wish it was a bit more, a little bit more goopy, a little more green. I'm glad we got the very big yellow goo at the end of the second episode. I hope it gets goopier. I
want wish for more goo, honestly.
We need more people to get slimed.
There's more goo.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, there are multiple of these John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidts running around, and so yeah, there's more goo.
I appreciate. I like that there's any goo, and they can only more goo would only improve it. Put it that way.
I mean, it is Goosebumps.
Ooh.
Everyone go watch The Light of Courage. That is the name.
The Light of Courage, that's it, yes.
Yeah.
I remembered. I haven't seen this in forever.
Oh my god, 18 years ago. We're going to die, guys.
One day we all will.
That's one of the that's one of the things that sucked about the new Goosebumps show is it just reminded me of my mortality. That time is inescapable.
That's true. I get those goosebumps every time I think about that.
Mario,
huh?
I'm choking.
God, he was always trying to make everything about him.
Stop making all about you, Bob.
Oh, what, you want your EpiPen? Well, no, you have to do it yourself.
This is one problem you gotta fix yourself.
I need that Heimlich, god damn it.
You're right, you need that Heimlich.
I need that Heimlich.
I'm sorry.
You know how to give yourself the Heimlich maneuver?
Yep.
It's cool.
Choose your own Heimlich.
Choose your give yourself Heimlich.
Give yourself
Heimlich.